let's go live. All right. Um, if you have been living in a coma, if you have been living under a rock, you have probably missed the greatest ever miracle pulled off in the history of IPL. And I'll tell you something. As a Bangalorean living in Bangalore, and as a Chennai fan, it's not a good time to live in the city. It's not a good time to be a CSK fan in Bangalore. I think I've had 2 3 days of absolute sadness and misery, with people messaging me all kinds of things and telling me all kinds of things. And I actually remember, as the game was getting over, I was driving back from my friend's place to my house, completely dejected, completely, like, horribly just devastated. And I was stuck in traffic for about 45 minutes because all the RCB fans came with their dhol and their flags and RCB, RCB, banging on my car. And I mean, it was a horrible sight for me to witness. But as even though I say this with utmost sadness, I also say this with an immense sense of happiness. I'm very, very, very happy that RCB has qualified for the playoffs because they thoroughly deserved it. They've thoroughly made it, and we have our top four, folks. We have our top four. RCB sneaking in at fourth place. We have KKR playing SRH in the qualifier. RCB playing Rajasthan Eliminator. Anurag, first thoughts.
Absolutely. I mean, the match itself was exhilarating, and RCB snatching a victory there, and I mean, making it a feast for their fans is next level. I mean, apart from their celebrations on the streets, it's like they've won a cup, but commendable effort that winning their last six matches, was it,
Yep,
to,
yep.
to
Six
get
matches
to
in a row.
qualify and this was their fans absolutely mind blown.
Yeah, I was just Shay, I was just mentioning, like, it's not a great time to be a CSK fan in Bangalore. I've had a lot of sadness and a lot of grief in the last few days. But I see you're here with your Valvoline and your orange colors. Proud SRH fan. What do you think?
I haven't been able to bust out the 4 years since I last playoff. So it's been sitting for a long time. Actually, I think it's yeah, pretty good. It still sounds like it sounds like 4 years old. Yeah, listen. I got absolutely zero sympathy for you, Krishna, because you've had nothing. Absolutely fuck all sympathy for you, mate, because you've had no success in the last 16 years. That most teams, especially RCB, didn't even start there, would only dream of. I think I saw a stat where you've not made the playoffs only 3 times since the inception of the IPL, which is absolutely incredible. I don't know if we're going to touch upon CSK later, but yeah, I mean, what have you guys been chatting about? I heard RCB and their late surge towards the playoffs from Anurag.
Yes.
That was incredible because I remember, I think about 6, maybe 5 weeks ago, I think after the spanking they got, it wasn't from us. I can't remember who lost it. Maybe it was SRH. I can't remember.
No,
They
they got a
lost to one.
spanking. They got a spanking, I think, from KKR. They got a spanking from, was it? I mean, SRH as well. But they lost, I think, by like 30, 40 runs or something against KKR or something. Or maybe they lost
No,
very
to
early.
be fair, us was like Dinesh Karthik got whacked at the end. Remember, they were chasing a ridiculous number.
Yeah.
There was like a
280,
DC.
287. Yeah.
Yeah, DC as well had a similar kind of thing, but and also Mumbai were chasing a ridiculous score SRH setup. Anyway, Faf said basically that the bowling attack there's very little variation. He was basically slating his own bowling attack, which obviously was put together and given to him. I've heard obviously nothing since. I mean, he's obviously stepped up with the bat. You got Paddy Dar in form. Jack's made that 100, like the second 50 off like 12 balls, something stupid. But they've all kind of stepped in, haven't they? Maxwell, though, they're hiding him down at 6, aren't they, at the moment?
Mm-hmm.
They're hiding people down the order and giving Green, obviously, more, and Padidar more responsibility. But I have to credit RCB, actually. That being said, I am worried about KKR. Obviously, absolutely, because that's the one team that I hate. I mean, unfortunately, yeah. KKR's biggest dick rider isn't on the stream. I don't know where he is. Even call it the Kolkata dick riders.
I think he's still supporting Man City in the Premier League. But I think I mean we have a lot to get to today, a lot to talk about. So let's start. Let's start with the team of the hour, RCB. We're gonna talk. We're gonna go today's stream. Basically, we're gonna go look at each of the 10 teams' seasons, and then we'll preview the two playoff matches. But we're gonna start with RCB because Bangalore is my hometown. Bangalore is most of my fan base. So I'm gonna start with Bangalore. I want to first, Anurag, I want to first touch upon 7 in 8 games, number 10 at the in the table, bottom of the table. I think there was something I read a stat today that 17 results had to go their way for them to actually
Correct.
stand a chance of going to the playoffs. There was I think the odds were like 0.001% or 2%, something like that, of RCB making the playoffs. I think in before the May portion of the IPL started, and then they just turned it around completely. You just forget those 7 losses. You forget how abysmal RCB was, because they just completely turned it around, and they showed they like there was something in the wind, something in the air. Like it was stuff made of dreams. It was stuff made of like movies, of cinema. Like it was absolute drama and theater. Like, what did you make of it, Anurag?
Absolutely. I mean, with their recent form, we always felt that they'll be eliminated in the first round itself. But I think the introduction of Will Jacks like pushed in a fresh air into their team. That is what they needed at the top order. A guy who could
Mm-hmm.
just belt around, give contribution to Virat Kohli so that he can shepherd his middle order. And somehow Rajat Patidar came into the picture. He started tonking spinners all around the ground, and that is where their middle order scoring improved. And in all this madness, there were two people who contributed very silently. One was Cameron Green with his all-round abilities. He was going at the strike rate of minimum 150, and he was giving at least a wicket or two in every match. And it was Yash Dayal who had improved his bowling when compared with the last season.
Yeah,
Man, his left arm seam
yeah,
was very potent. Nobody could play him. He was swinging the ball. He was good at the death overs. So all of this all-round ability of each and every player contributed to their wins, and the powerhouse Virat Kohli, the way he was on the field, electrifying performance whenever the ball came to him. So all of this with the crowd support propelled them obviously to the qualifiers, and they absolutely deserve it.
Look at the stories, right? I mean, Yash Dayal gets belted for 5 sixes in an over against Rinku Singh. Everybody's saying why Yash Dayal and RCB. Why the Cameron Green trade? There's so many questions. Will Virat Kohli come back? I mean, Virat Kohli's place in the T20 World Cup squad was being questioned.
Mhm.
Faf du Plessis was not having it. He was not having a good run in the first start. Rajat Patidar was out for the first 4 games. Maxwell was terribly out of form. And then you had guys like Alzari Joseph, they bought for 12 crores. Tom
Mhm.
Curran, they had 4 seamers, right? Alzari Joseph, Tom
Lockie
Curran,
Ferguson.
Lockie Ferguson, and Reece Topley, right? They had these 4 seamers.
Topley. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
was
they
given enough chance, in my opinion. Topley was given enough chance.
Yeah, I know, and they didn't, and they weren't bringing in Will Jacks into the side in the initial part of the tournament. DK also ran a little hot and cold at the start, and they just won with that one game against PBKS, which they almost lost. By the way, they almost lost that game,
Yeah.
a game they should have won comfortably. But just so much like RCB, I think, and nobody, not one person, gave RCB a chance to qualify at the start of the season. They were definitely not in my top four. I thought they'd finish bottom four or bottom three.
Absolutely.
I think that's what we said at the start of the season. And to the turnaround, and I think a large portion of that turnaround has to be contributed to Will Jacks. I think Will
Correct.
Jacks' energy, and the sort of the intention and the what do you say the intent merchant,
Mhm.
you talk a lot. Right? He's the one who brought that change into RCB at the start. In that, especially that KKR game, for me the moment of the season was watching Karan Sharma belt 25 crores Stark. I absolutely loved it. I was splitting my hairs. I just wanted Karan Sharma to win it, but it didn't happen. Mitchell Stark got lucky. But
Mhm.
I mean, it was just sensational, sensational. And as somebody who's had a lot of, I guess, anger towards RCB in the past because of my support for CSK, uh, I do feel that, I mean, I would like to see it for Kohli, for Faf, for Maxwell, for DK. It's also DK's last season. It may be Dhoni's
Mhm.
last season, but it's also DK's last season. Nobody's want to talk about that.
Mhm.
So yeah, RCB, the way they've turned it around has been brilliant, brilliant. And the belief, the self belief that Kohli has brought in, the belief that the entire city had, the prayers of all the Bengaluru folk. have carried them to the playoffs, and they might win it. I mean, tough. It's going to be tough, but they might just win it. Yeah, I think Shay's probably had to. Shay,
No, I'm sorry. So the little ones just running around here. It's actually funny because DK, I feel like he could still go for those. The way he whacked against us in that 280 on chase just shows a tank. But he's a very astute mind. I mean, he's gets a lot of praise over here back in the UK for his punditry work, and they might have been approached potentially by Sky Sports something. But I think wherever he goes, he'll get a gig. I mean, listen, Pomi Bangwa can get a regular gig on television, then shit anyone can. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So for me, maybe that's just kind of the allure of that. And also, it's a tough season, right? I mean, I'm sure we'll discuss Donny later, but yeah, I mean, with DK, I thought that I actually like DK a lot. I'm happy for him. Coley, Faf, yeah, listen, maybe Faf a little bit of not how to put it, because I think he's obviously done well in his career, but it would be nice considering how his career's gone lost 4 or 5 years, especially nationally, how it's all panned out for him to bag an IPL. And Coley's well, because I wonder, but you'll see if you guys know a lot more than me, is that how you're really treated as an Indian player if you don't win an IPL. He'll go down as one of the Indian all-time greats. Now, for us, it doesn't matter. But I wonder if you can truly be called, one of the best ever to play the game from an Indian perspective if you haven't won an IPL. That's obviously modern-day criteria to adjudicate a player. But I think if both Hardik Pandya, who's won an IPL obviously multiple times, and Virat Kohli both retired today, no one with 2 brain cells is going to tell me Hardik Pandya is a greater player or had a better career just because he won a few IPLs. So but I wonder if Kohli in his mind feels like he needs to win one before he packs it in. I do wonder about that. But I think which 3 teams, DC, PBKS, and RCB, right, haven't won the IPL. Am I right in saying that?
Yep.
Those 3.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think personally, maybe the KKR juggernaut will just continue, but I think RCB may have peaked at the right time. They've got all their shit performances have all done. They're all finished. They put them into the past, and now they're performing at the perfect time. I mean, to knock out CSK like that. I mean, you mentioned Yash Dayal, Anurag. His last over to Jadeja was phenomenal. Those back in the hand slow balls were phenomenal. Yeah, he's obviously they're really up against it, but I thought he was excellent. Excellent.
Even the ball to MS Dhoni. I mean, he got lucky, right? Because the ball got hit out of the stadium, and then they had to get a new ball. They had a drier ball to use in the second ball to MS Dhoni.
That's a bit of bitterness, KK there. Listen,
no, but I mean, Yash Dayal was phenomenal. You can't take it away from him. The comeback, Yash Dayal, superb. I think a lot of people were trolling Yash Dayal. I think there was one moment apparently during the KKR RCB game when Yash Dayal was bowling to Rinku Singh. They played that last over, the GT versus KKR last game, which was just, I think, completely, uncalled for. I mean, the guy has gone through so much trauma, Yash Dayal, of that because of that over. But anyways, I mean, for him to come back like that and do it for RCB on the day, big day, humongous props to him. So yeah, good on RCB.
Because all the time we were joking on our WhatsApp group, right, about the best. Who's the lead spinner?
Karan Sharma / Mayank Daggar / Swapnil Singh / Maxwell / Max.
Yeah, I mean, you think to let go of Shahbaz Ahmed. I mean, thank you very much, but I mean, who made that decision? Khan Sharma, some washed-up 37-year-old. I'm surprised he didn't try and grab an Amit Mishra from the dead. Dig him up, man. Get someone in, you know what I mean? God, man. When I saw Khan Sharma, I was like, you must be kidding, man. Why didn't bring back Praveen Tambe from the OP home? Do you know what I mean?
I think he's coach, right, of LSG or something.
Hey, just a consultant, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Honestly, I think of some of these sides. I mean, I know we're going to go through play-by-play, but like GT and LSG, what utter letdowns those 2 franchises have been. Like PBKS, I think expected. But those 2, Mumbai, obviously. Mumbai, GT, and LSG, such letdowns they were. More than PBKS. You expect that. And I've actually got massive respect for DC, actually, how they turned it around a little bit. If you look at it, Ponting did quite well in that second half of the tournament. Anyway, sorry, I'm just back. I don't even go through franchise by franchise, but I just point that out.
Actually, I do want to ask you guys one question. I mean, Crickbuzz did this today. I'm going to do a little spin on it. Crickbuzz asked, which one foreign player and one Indian player would you retain? I'm going to give you guys the choice of 2 Indian players and 1 foreign player to retain. Quickly, who do you retain? RCB.
Well, Kohli, obviously, I retain Kohli.
Kohli.
I would retain Cam Green.
Cam Green. Okay, interesting.
The one foreign player, I wouldn't retain Faf.
Okay. Kohli, Cam Green, and if you want to retain another Indian, you can.
Now, open. Open now.
I don't know, Anurag?
Dad, open.
I'd go for Will Jacks because that
Will
is
Jacks.
like a new fresh air for them, and Cam Green obviously for his all-round ability.
Mm-hmm.
Virat Kohli and Rajat Patidar.
Patidar. Yeah, Patidar would be one.
Yeah, I think Padidar.
All right, let's move on. The man in the house is here with the jersey. We're going to go to his team. It's the Sunrisers Hyderabad. And I'm just going to leave it to you. I'm not going to say anything. Tell me, Shay.
Do you want to comment just generally on the season, how it's panned out?
I mean, there's so much to talk about Hyderabad. They've set the tone, right, for the season. They've set the tone. They've been the boss. They've been the story of this IPL, in my opinion.
Why do you say that?
They've reinvented the wheel, man. I mean, like, they've completely just reinvented power play batting, T20 batting. Like, 120. How often did they get 100 in the first 6 overs? How often? Like,
No, yeah, that I have to give. I mean, the fact that Travis didn't play the first game is shambolic. Just hold it there, guys.
yeah, I mean, I'll carry on there. Travis said...
okay,
so you go ahead,
you can
Anurag. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, sure. I mean, they, just like you said, they reinvented T20 batting. That is the way you need to play. You don't want to keep strike for 20 overs and try to play out the rest of the game. You need to go attack from ball 1, ensure your team has a high score so that your bowlers can defend. That was the simple mantra. I think these guys stuck to it every match, every single match, and that has got them their success. Credits to the management again, because they've done their mistakes last year and every year before that.
Last 5 years.
Yes.
5 years.
Each and every year.
Absolute mess management. Last 5 years. Vittori said, and absolutely Sean mentioned early on, that we're going to go hard in the first 6. Whatever happens, we're going hard. Even if you remember, Clarkson has had a very good season, not a great season. He's been a bit subdued in the middle. They dropped Markram, a bold move, but a right move. I wasn't sure on Pat Cummins, and I must give him respect. That guy has got a phenomenal cricket brain. Because I really thought this could backfire on us. But he's actually bowled very well. And obviously, 2 games ago, he hit that quick fire. I can't remember what 35 was it, or 15 ballsman. I can't remember which game it was. Well, 2 games ago, he scored a quick fire knock at the end. But we've been strong. We played well. Head should have played from the first game. I told you guys that. I do feel for Glenn Phillips. I feel like I can't wait for Glenn Phillips to find a new franchise next year. Because I really feel that guy should not be sitting on the sidelines. He's too good. But anyway, that's by the by. I think what's important, they've made decisions quickly enough. Like Chapathi, they dropped him. Mayank, they dropped him. I know Chapathi in a month out came out and say 33 of 18 did well, but he was cast the wilderness with the right move because he looked awful in those games he played. Chapathi started the tournament, awful. They dropped him. Markram made a big decision. They dropped him. They brought back Jansen. They obviously, I can't pronounce his surname, but the Sri Lankan spinner.
Vyaskant.
They've given him a go now. Markande started. They dropped him. They rotated the spinner. They got Undercat, who I thought would have been. I mean, he wasn't great, to be honest with you. Undercat is Undercat, right? But he's provided a little bit of familiarity with that bowling attack. Boovy's been okay, but listen, I think bowlers on the whole, you can't really knock the stats considering how this IPL's panned out. Every bowler's been, I mean, apart from Bumrah is on like another planet. Everyone has shown fallacies. I'm not really. I think they'll do away with the impact player anyway. I think this has been a strong enough reason because it's from a spectacle part. Unless you're a hardcore cricket fan, if you're a neutral, it's been poor. I'll be honest with you, it's been poor. I know you've had in the second half of the tournament more, sub 200 scores, but generally speaking, I think it's been bad. And I think from bowling perspective, I'm not going to be too harsh on any of the bowlers, any of the franchises. I think our batting's been phenomenal. I think what's key, I think, Krishna, you mentioned something in the past. The problem with SRH is not getting enough out of the local players, out of Indian players. But Abhishek Sharma has been on another level. Yesterday, again, what was it, 66 or 28 balls, man of the match, fantastic talent.
Nitish Kumar Reddy as well.
Samad, the one I hate the most, our version of Rian Parag. Somehow getting, but look, obviously Rian Parag's come amazingly good this IPL. But anyway, he's looked a lot more sure player, and you wonder now, was it the player or was it the management? Has the access of Victorian Cummins able to bring the best out of these guys? Because Sharma was a good player last year. Actually, he did okay. Him and Markham played quite well last year, but they never had that solid base around them. Head has transformed this franchise. Travis Head. Yes, even yesterday, him getting out of first ball, we still go make 215 in 19 overs, even without him.
Mm-hmm.
Someone always. I think that's also key as well. Someone's picked up the baton from an overseas perspective. So, all in all, I think it's a good team. I don't see us winning though. I still believe there's a really bad performance in that 11, and I don't see that in KKR. I think they have more solid match winners. I just look at the lineup. Not so much Venkaiah, but I think even Shreyas could do it. Then you've got to see the absolute juggernauts of Narain and Russell. Even Chakravartin quite well. I've been quite impressed. As much as I don't want to say is Harshit Rana. I thought it's been very impressive.
Yeah.
So
we'll get to KKR next.
Yeah, I feel like, sorry, but my point is, I think with SRH's bowling attack, I think the pace attack can have a really bad day. I still feel that pace attack can have a really off day when we go 220, 230, 240 even. I think that's in them. And I don't think our spinners are enough to arrest a slide. Well, KKR have a banker in the Rhine, 4 overs, 1 for 20, 4 overs, 2 for 18, that kind of thing. We don't have that. We don't have that banker. It just doesn't exist in the SRH. And that's why I think we won't win this competition.
One question though, I just want to you're saying that 230, 240 your bowlers might give it, but I think if there's any team that can chase that down, by the looks of it, it's SRH. If Abhishek, Head and Klaasen get going, even 300 is not enough. Like the way they're batting at the moment.
I think obviously we batted first on this big scores we made, right? And we showed ourselves up, and obviously they're very batter-friendly wickets. But the 3 massive scores of DC against Mumbai and against RCB, they've all chased well. It's not that they've been poleaxed for 140. They haven't, Krishna. You know that. DC, I think 20 runs from 20 runs. DC with Kartik. They made 80 or 30 odd balls.
That was RCB, 20 runs.
RCB. Then you had Mumbai.
Yeah, they came within 30 runs or something.
Yeah, and then
Delhi was out within 100 runs. I think that was a big win. Yeah, that was like a.
Delhi one was okay, fine. That was you're right. It was a comfortable win, but they started well. I remember they started well.
Fraser.
But Fraser McGurk, who's been he went berserk with as always. But listen, I think I don't know. I don't see an all-round, top to bottom IPL winning 11, and I don't see the banker in there. Like we used to have Rashid Khan. We could bring Rashid on, and he used to get 4 overs, 1 for 20, and we knew we could rely on him. That one person to stop one end, stop the runs leaking. We don't have that now. We don't have them, and I think that's probably the reason why we probably won't win. I don't believe they'll chase down a 250 in a final. I don't think that.
You don't think Natarajan has been good enough? Natarajan,
no.
I think, has been pretty good. Bhuvi has been all right. Cummins, I think, has been the best bowler by far.
What's the economy rates? They go and get tens.
Yeah, Cummins has taken wickets at crucial intervals. He's bowled tough overs. So has Natarajan.
But I'm saying
Bhuvi's also bowled some decisive overs as well in this competition.
But there's no one that's an end. There's no one there you can say, okay, right, he's going to go for me like a Bumrah, like an Narain. There's no one there. And I think
but Bumrah is such a humongous standard to compare any bowler to. I think Bumrah, let's face it, Bumrah is sitting on some other universe right now. That I don't think you can't expect everybody to be a Bumrah in this. I think
No,
that's too
no,
high a standard to set.
I don't have my computer's not working properly. I'd like to see the economy rates of SRH bowlers versus all the team bowlers.
Yeah, the problem is Pat Cummins has been taking wickets, but the first 2 overs he was already going past 10 per over. So I think the impact there is getting reduced by half. And Bhuvi was that bowler which we always wanted, Bumrah, but now he's way away from his prime. He'll just win you one game here and there, but not consistently.
It was
So
only
I think
Rajasthan where he was the old movie. That
correct.
Rajasthan.
That
Apart
ball,
from that,
that ball. Oh my God, what a ball!
Mm.
Was it
you
to
know, you
The
Liam
look
one
at
Liam?
to
Or was it
Rahman Powell, right?
Rahman Powell? Or no, was it Sanju? I think. I'm
no,
not
no,
sure.
it was the right-handed batsman. Not Samson, wasn't it?
So I think it was
Uh,
Samson. I feel it was
the
Samson.
Samson bowled
in-swinger.
like a proper
Yep.
That was 2012
beautiful.
stuff, man.
The one to
Ball was
Hafiz.
picked off, and then you got Samson.
Yes.
That was like a 2016 movie. I remember him bowling to Jason Roy and Aaron Finch played the Gujarat line. Those two, they were playing in a different wicket. Boothie had them in knots, man. I remember that day against Gujarat Lions, in a horrible red and blue kit. I remember. But that's that was old Boothie. Boothie's gone. I think now. So, but I don't know. Like I said, my final thoughts basically. Can we make I think we'll lose to KKR, and I wouldn't be surprised if we lose. And I think RCB personally will beat Rajasthan. I think Rajasthan have lost form at the wrong time. RCB have picked up form at the right time.
Shay, how are you always in rant mode, even when your team is doing well, man? Like, come on, man, give them a break. Like, you've been crying out loud for your team to do well for the past 3-4 years. You've been saying terrible management.
Listen,
They've done well this time, man. Just take the win, bro. Like,
no, listen, bro. Listen, man. You know what I mean? We're top four. I'm cool, man. We done well, but I don't think we'll get. I think KK will beat us. We might have an opportunity then to beat the winner, obviously the loser of Rajasthan or RCB. But it depends. We could beat Rajasthan. If you put me now, gun to my head, we beat Rajasthan. But right now, I don't believe we beat KKR tomorrow, and I don't think we'll beat RCB even. The RCB's a toss-up. I'd favour us against Rajasthan, but I think Kolkata go to the final. Go to the finals. It's Sunday, the final, or Saturday.
I think it's Sunday.
It's Sunday. KKR go to the final, and then it's a pot. Look at it, man. I'd love RCB to do it, to be honest. But anyway, but that's me. I think we could make the final, but I don't. I just think there's one half of the game could implode for us. I could see that in this side. I don't see that kind of fragility in that KKR 11. I don't see it.
Man, like I thought we'd be singing the praises of Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head, but you haven't given me an opportunity to do that. So
no, listen, man. I told you. Travis Head transformed this 11, this batting lineup. If you think about it, we dropped Brook, and we brought in Travis Head. Think about that, right?
Yeah.
I mean that you took chalk and cheese doesn't even summarize it well enough. I mean, Brook was absolutely awful. Bar that one knock against KKR was absolutely disgraceful. Losing Markham has helped. But like I said, they've got the most out of the Indian players this season. Even like Japati, how they treated him looks to have paid off. Because he calls it yesterday like a man reborn.
Yeah.
So
he's going to be crucial for them tomorrow in that game.
He's that link of three. But we're forgetting one guy is Nitish Kumar Reddy.
What a find.
Man.
What a find.
What a find, man. The guy just turned 21. What a find, man, in that boy.
25, actually.
Well, he does. No, he born 2003.
Not really. In our cricketing circles, they say he's 25, 26.
Oh, acha.
Well, that's terrible.
He's a local player. We've been seeing him in and out.
That's terrible if that's the case. That's some BS, man. That's some like footballer type shit. Some Nigerian, He said they're 17, they're about 38.
Hey man, whoever's watching, don't take headlines from here, okay?
Okay. Well, he's a fine player.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fine player. I haven't seen the Sambir Singh, he's been dotted down the order. But those guys, say Reddy and Abhishek Sharma, even Abdul Saman looks a different player. He looks confident. Like I said, I think that's down. Hats off to Vittori. They seem to have got it right this time with the selection of coach. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm glad that staying pissed off as well. Do you know what I mean? Get him out. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, but I
All right,
think,
man.
I mean, all in all, for me, SRH, the story of the season, uh, they've reinvented T20 batting. They've shown, like, they've literally batted like as if we're playing stick cricket. It's like cheat code batting. Like, genuinely, like 120 in 6 overs is stuff you'd make in stick cricket. Like every ball, 4, 6. Like Abhishek Sharma taking down Kuldeep Yadav. Man, that was beautiful to watch. Uh, but yeah, I mean, let's move on. I mean, retention. I think last point before we move on, retentions for you guys.
Reddy and Abhishek Sharma, and Klassen and Head.
What about Pat, bro?
That's fine. I think he has given you that flavor of winning. I think the team will carry it forward.
Interesting.
I'll go with that. I think it's good reason. I think Anurag's right. Definitely Abhishek Sharma and Reddy. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
Pat,
I think
but seriously, no
go with.
Pat for you guys. Come on, man. Pat Cummins,
I,
you found a
no,
leader finally.
I do wonder if the management captain access of those two has done a lot more than we think it has. So I wonder if you could. It sounds terrible. This, if you drop Klassen rather than Cummins, I think Head is crucial to that batting order. Absolutely crucial.
100%.
But then getting another keeper batsman, you won't get anyone of that ilk. But could you afford to lose him to bring in another overseas? Like for me, if you brought in Glenn Phillips for Clarkson and get a domestic with keeper, get it in the keeper bat, or the overall balance, maybe I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
Tripathi can keep wickets, so I think they could do that.
Sorry, who?
Rahul Tripathi.
Oh yeah, but is he good enough for this level
Yes.
over a course of the season?
I
Then
think
look,
Nitish Reddy also keeps wickets, right? That's what I've heard. I mean,
Nah, he's more of a batting all rounder.
batting all rounder. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd like to use him as a batting all rounder
Hmm.
more than a wicket keeper. But anyways, moving on. I wanted our man, Mr. Manchester City, to be here, Mr. KKR, Mr. Korbol or Jeetbo. He's not here, so this is gonna feel little. I'm a little upset that he's not here because I wanted him to rub it in your face and my face, but he's not here. Let's talk about KKR. Man, what a what a turnaround. I mean, they've had a pretty, average few seasons in the last few, like since 2021 when they made the final. 22-23 was very average for them. Coming in new, Shreyas Iyer is back in the side after being out in 2023. Gautam Gambhir there as a mentor. KKR revitalized, rejuvenated. Anurag, your thoughts?
Yes, Gambhir was the difference for them because after 2021, dismal performance by them. I don't think any player stood up for the occasion and tried to win it for them. But Gambhir coming back, promoting Sunil Narain, encouraging youngsters like their bowlers, and Russell coming back to his all-round form, all of it contributed to KKR's victory. Meaning the way Sunil Narain is batting, even though half percent, 51% of his shots are with no control, but them going for boundaries is like, the intent is there and they are here to win. And the opening combination itself, it's like a salt and pepper look. Absolutely bonkers, hitting everyone, not even sparing spinners, experienced bowlers, nothing. They just go for the boundaries and it has paid off for them. The only disappointing thing would be Shreyas Iyer. I think if he is going to pick up his batting for the eliminators, I think then the cup is theirs. No other team is going to surpass a team like KKR.
I think I like the term you use, salt and pepper, because we literally
Mm,
had salt in the top of the order.
correct.
Also, I think we all thought, right, Narayan at the top of the order, it's probably an expired, strategy. It's not going to work out. But, Gambhir just having the belief, in Narayan, and like the thought process of just, like, screw it. I don't care what anybody else thinks. Narayan's going at the top of the order. I read some stat, I think halfway through the season, that in the MVP standings, Narayan has more points in the MVP than double of what the second place player has had. So just goes to show you the impact of Narayan, and he's been brilliant with both the bat and the ball. Let's not
Mm-hmm.
forget Varun Chakravarti's impact on this team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Venkatesh Iyer has come back to form, and how beautifully he's come back to form.
Mm-hmm.
Ramandeep Singh at 7 and 8 has provided them those crucial hits at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a difference in a lot of the games.
Correct.
Um,
Yes.
Harshit Rana has been brilliant. Vaibhav Aurora has been pretty good too. Shreyas Iyer, yes, could have been better, but he's been all right. In my opinion, he's been all right. He didn't have to do much. Rinku Singh has unfortunately just not gotten enough chances, but whatever chances he's gotten, he's not been pathetic. He's not been horrible. He just hasn't had enough chances. But again, I think the only weak link in this team so far has been Mitchell Stark. I think that's literally 25 crore Mitchell Stark. Like, I mean, Shaylin, what do you think about like what do you think is the main
I mean,
reason for
the
KKR
fact that
success?
every team and their 25 crore, bonanza purchase has completely flopped in its arse just shows you how good that team has been. The fact that you spend that kind of money, you expect instant results. The fact he's been so bad, Stark, and they've done so well, phenomenal. As much as I hate to say it, because I really don't like KKR.
No, I mean they've literally dropped him. He's not even in the side. We thought, okay, 7 lakhs a ball. Okay, how much are they gonna get? How much value are they gonna get out of each ball? And it's been like pretty average. But he still has a chance to prove his 25 crores worth if KKR end up winning the competition. Karan Sharma again taking down Stark, moment of the season for me. Not that consequential in the grand scheme of things, but again, like for me, that was a very telling story of one of the telling stories of the season. But still, KKR have managed to pull out wins from situations where they have been sort of 50-50, maybe on the losing side. I think that is the champion mindset that Gambhir has brought into the side. Even Chandra, you also had this. We had this doubt whether Chandrakant Pandit, Gautam Gambhir, two like stalwarts, two big personalities, whether they clash with each other. But it's everything is working well. Everything is in synergy. KKR hai tayar might just win the competition. Probably the best suited to win the competition at the moment.
I wonder, if you look at the 10 worst buys in IPL history, where Mitchell Stark would fare in that, he must be up there with one of the worst buys ever. Has to be. The ratio performance to fee to value is so wide. I mean that but I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think obviously that's why he's been touted as the next India coach. I think Gambhir did a fantastic job. I think Gambhir has done an excellent job. I think he's obviously listed some great performances there. I think Rinku Singh actually has a quiet turnaround this year, especially in the second half of the tournament. I haven't watched enough of KKR. I don't like watching them because I don't like them. So I'm not watching too much of them unless you play against SRH. To be honest with you, we should have beat them. We only need 5 lost 3 balls. We should have beat them with Clausen there in our final. We had no rights in winning, but at the end we were so close in Anurag.
Yes, it was a blessing in disguise because now people knew that we are in for the game and they never gave up from that stage. After that loss, I think everybody took the game seriously and they just went on the 6th gear every single match.
Yeah, especially at home.
Yes.
Guys,
Home.
a word.
They've got the absolute champions in Russell. I mean, they're fine. Obviously, he's opened the batting for a number of years, but he's been unbelievable with the bat this year. But I also think one of the best things that happened to KKR was Jason Roy pulling out and Phil Salt coming in.
Absolutely.
Because Phil Salt has been, and I really like Phil Salt. I really like Phil Salt as a guy. I like his temperament. I like his attitude. Actually, on a separate note, I actually earmark him as a potential test keeper for England. I think he fits the fast ball era. Because people don't realise this. He averages 40 first class stuff for the last 3 years. Anyway, but Salt's been fantastic. And I think he'll show his pedigree this summer in the World Cup. I think that was a big turning point for them. Him coming in for Roy. Yeah, I mean, Russell's been very, very good as always. I think he's been extra special because his league into World Cup was almost certainly going to be his last World Cup of any note. So maybe that's why he's done so well. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of Shreyas Iyer's captaincy this tournament?
Anurag?
I think he didn't have pretty much anything to do. It was the players which were doing the job for him, and it was very easy for him to captain this side. I mean, all rounders, bowlers, batsmen, everybody performing, and this guy just had to sit and just guide them. He didn't have to do much. I think that'll that's it from my side.
What?
What about Harshit Rana? What's your opinion on
Yeah,
him?
I want to talk about Harshit Rana. Yeah.
I mean, his death bowling was phenomenal. The way he mixed his slow off cutters was brilliant. I think every wicket, I mean, every ball which he delivered, he had put some thinking behind it and bowled not just blindly. I think he's going to be a future bowler for India in T20s. That's my take.
Just T20s.
Yes, because I think he has those variations for a 4 over game rather than a 50 over game. I mean, 10 over bowling.
We always find these in every IPL. You seems to be now. You get the odd India bowler coming through from nowhere. I think Avish Khan. Did Yash Dayal get a cap? Dayal.
He's been selected in the team, but I don't think he's gotten a
Yeah, I
cap.
thought so. But Avish Khan's been picked. I know he's played.
Yeah.
But and now you got Harshit Rana coming through. You know, Umran Malik gotta
Mayank
go.
Yadav also another cap.
Mm.
Potential cap.
That was everyone was spunking over Yardev for bowling 158 kph, and then he breaks down in it. That was it. But like
They took him to the Border Gavaskar Trophy as well. They imagined him bowling to Steve Smith on a bouncy Perth wicket.
shit.
That was hilarious.
Still possible.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, well, I guess we'll get to SLG in a bit. Anyway,
Yeah. But KKR, actually, I also want to mention one more thing. I think Russell has been sort of hot and cold over the last few years. And I think every one of us has doubted, and even Narayan also, we've all doubted KKR for showing faith in Narayan and Russell, constantly retaining them. Okay, like how many times you're going to keep going with the same formula again and again and again. It's like almost like a CSK thing to do, right? Like keep going with the same old players. But kudos to KKR management for showing faith in Narayan and Russell. And I mean, look at the balance it gives you in your team. Narayan and Russell in the top 7. You have 7 overs, 8, probably 6 to 7 overs right there. You're freed up to play an extra batsman at number 8 in Ramandeep, who's contributed brilliantly for them. Venkatesh Iyer also has been low on confidence in the past few seasons. Everybody was like, why is Venkatesh Iyer retained? They should have retained Shubman Gill instead. A lot of question marks on Venkatesh Iyer. And he was in the Indian side also. He's been like completely sidelined. He's done very well for them. Given the role, he's not opening at the top of the order. He's going down at 3, 4, maybe sometimes in 5. He's done well for them. And I think KKR have got all their question marks sorted. I think that's the big bonus for them. Besides getting into the playoffs, besides getting a top players finish, the main thing that I've really enjoyed this season is KKR have sorted out literally all the question marks. I mean, Stark is the only question mark, but it's not something that they're worried about also. It's not something that's really worrying KKR because they're doing so well even without Stark playing at his best. So kudos to KKR management for believing in their players and believing and supporting, and Gambhir, of course, has been phenomenal with his mentorship of KKR. Last words, retentions for KKR, guys.
Well, definitely Sunil on the right, 1,000,000%.
Mm-hmm.
And most likely Russell.
Yep.
More at this level. Domestic players, Indian players, Anurag, what do you reckon?
Harshit Rana, man, come on.
I'll go with Ankrish Raghuvanshi. I like the way he batted.
Another one, we missed him completely.
Man, for an under-19 batsman, the confidence he has, next level.
I mean, the quality of those cover drives, man.
Yes.
Oof.
Even his leg glances were proper VVS Lakshman.
Yeah.
I mean, I was literally seeing VVS Lakshman when he was glancing. Him and Varun Chakravarti would be my Indian picks, and foreign picks would be Phil Salt and Andre Russell.
No Narayan.
Man, he's going to get called for chucking one day, and I'm afraid he's going to get banned.
How could there's no one that contributes to any. He's got to be the best overseas player who's contributed with the bat and ball as evenly as him. That man is winning games with bat and ball, literally. Like with him and Russell can win a game with either facet. That's why they're so good, those two. That's why KKR stuck around. But Narayan's bashing 80, then taking 2 for 18. Like it's ridiculous. I don't think it's been. I mean, maybe because he has this stigma attached to him, Anurag, you're picking up on. I've seen your comments.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe partial to why he's signing up and whatnot. And you might be right on that, by the way. Your theory about why he's not put himself up for international selection, because that's actually a good point.
Mhm.
But he's still been past the ball now. I think that his performances are even though he's so good, is underrated. Look at him; he gets into any side in a whole competition. Like I said, he's winning games with bat and ball.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think
I,
no-
I don't see how you couldn't retain him, Anurag. I'm very surprised at that. I have to say, fair play. Listen, I like Salts,
Mhm.
but I think he's more replaceable. I don't think you could. If you lost Ryan, who the hell do you need two players to replace him with? Two players. Fact.
that's true. 100%. 100%. You can't. It's
You
impossible to
can't,
replace Narayan.
there's no Ryans out there.
See,
Name one.
I just have a small logic here because I've seen Sunil Narayan's form with Chris Lynn when he was batting. What season was that? 2016?
Yeah, something like that. 17.
Somewhere around 16, 17. I've seen the same Sunil Narayan, and after that, he disappeared for around 6 years. I haven't seen the same dangerous one. So I'm afraid it's just a one season wonder kind of thing where he's going to bash everybody in that one season, and again, he'll be back to his regular Sunil Narayan form, and where only his bowling is going to help the team. And again, when he's going to get banned for bowling, then he's useless to any team. He just can't sit around. So that is why I'm retaining a Russell and a guy like Phil Salt.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the fourth playoff team. That's Rajasthan Royals. Rajasthan Royals every year, right? They start on this they start on this train, right? It's just unstoppable train. They just keep going, 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 win everything like 5, 6 games in a row, 7 in a row, and then suddenly at the end it's like completely derailed. Like that train just stops. It doesn't go anywhere. Everybody just suddenly loses form, and it's like it's surprising. It's hilarious that they've lost their last 4 or 5 games in a row, right? And they've still completed. They've still secured a third spot. That too on the back of the fact that they should have probably got it on net run rate. They got it. They got the third spot. Rajasthan Royals. Completely, I mean, like, and that too only literally two batsmen have performed for them this season, Samson and Riyan Parag. And the first time both of two players for Rajasthan Royals have had 500 run plus seasons. Butler with the odd innings here and there, but man, like, how do you even dissect this team? Because they were so good at the start, they've been pathetic in the last 4 or 5. Like, how do you even react to this?
They've been. I think Sanga's been trying to be too clever with some of his selections. Actually, they've used a variety of overseas players. They brought obviously initially they had Berger coming in with Bolt. He had that as the impact player. They were playing 3 overseas, weren't they? Butler was a fixture, obviously. I think Butler missed 1 game, didn't he? I think through injury or something.
Yeah.
But generally it was Butler and Bolt. Then you had Berg coming in. Then Mirage. Donovan Ferreira had a game. Rowan Powell's been a fixture in the side now. But
Keshav Maharaj.
Yeah, Kesh, he said Maharaj, yeah. He said.
Mirage played. Obviously got jettisoned. I was surprised he didn't join with LSG because he was so good for DSG. So why would he anyway? So obviously he played a game. So, but I think ironically Chahal gets selected for the World T20 Cup squad, and then he gets spanked, doesn't he? In fact, I think the next game, our post call up was a game with SRH, and Klaassen got after him again. It's quite funny, but Ashwin, I think, is kind of done at this level, in my opinion. I don't think Ashwin's the same bowler. I think he's 38 years old in September. I think he's probably done at this level. In this format, I'm saying, obviously, still a champion test bowler. I don't see room for him. Bolt has been up and down. Started very well, been up and down. Berg was in, did well, pretty well, got knocked out. But I think they've been trying up. The selections have not been. It's been a bit choppy. I felt the selection. Every time I looked at the team sheet, I was like, okay, there's no real consistency there. You don't know who's going to play. And I mean, I said Roman Powell's coming now, but I felt Sankar was trying to be too cute, with his selection.
I think, a large part of their bowling has been successful due to Sandeep Sharma being so good. So good.
Yeah.
Sandeep Sharma has been phenomenal. Avesh Khan has been very good in the death. Like, let's not take away any credit from Avesh Khan. He's been good. He's won them games when you expected them to lose. He's won them crucial he's bowled those last overs. He's been very good at the death. But I think the main reason why this team was successful, a large part, was basically the form of Riyan Parag. I mean, from nowhere. Everybody
100%.
had
100%.
written off Riyan Parag. 5 seasons in a row, he's been absolute nonsense. He hasn't contributed anything, right? We were all laughing at him when he said he wanted to win the orange cap, and he almost made it a possibility this season, right? I think the move to send him up at 4 was very clever, very smart. But the person who's lost out a lot because of that is Dhruv Jurel. I feel that's a big miss for. I mean, Dhruv Jurel has not been able to contribute that much this season, and they haven't used Dhruv Jurel properly, in my opinion. But I think, yeah, and of course Sanju Samson. The
But
criticism.
Jaspal, has not been that great this year.
Jaiswal has been very, very average. Butler has been on and off, but Sanju Samson has held this team together with his batting. He's been excellent. And the criticism of Sanju Samson, oh, he's hot and cold. He never does well in important games. Sanju Samson has been, make no mistake, he's been absolutely worth his weight, completely deserving of the T20 World Cup call up. I mean,
Yeah.
that you have to give him that. Anurag?
I think it's a strange pattern which I've noticed with Rajasthan Royals. It's like their top order always peaks in the initial stages, and somehow in the second half of the tournament, they're all found out.
Yeah.
Nobody starts contributing. They keep having these collapses, and somehow they keep losing these matches. I think they'll have to fine tune this issue of theirs, and if not, they're going to face an elimination again. They're not going to win the cup after your initial first 2008 cup. Jaiswal has been ordinary. Butler, if not that century, would have been again found out. Samson has been brilliant. He's been partnered with Rian Parag, who has been great again. Apart from these folks, I haven't seen great match winning performances. I thought Rovman Powell, after his improvement against spin bowling, would contribute much more, but not much. Shimron Hetmeyer is again that guy who's been joking around but not contributing much. Just an odd six here and there, but no big impact.
Hetty is very lucky to be getting that gig,
Mhm.
man.
Yes.
He got a drop from that the West Indies in England T20 series last year in December. He always looks a bit overweight as well, in my opinion. I think he likes the good life a bit too much. I wonder about him actually. I think he's gonna end up at a PBKS some shit, or maybe no, just, it's not like 50K, 50 lakhs, whatever. You know what I mean? So, I just see that languishing in some kind of lowly kind of franchise. I think he's very lucky to be there, Hetmeyer. Anyway, but yeah. I wonder what the situation with those guys, because on paper it's a good team, it's a good balanced team, but then second half they just completely fell off. I mean, Samson. Yeah, we say that, but then can we blame Samson? For the kind of drop off in form? He's not be able to kind of rally the troops and motivate them, get them going again. I mean, you'd imagine the amount of leaders in that room. You got Bolt, you got Chahal, you got Ashwin, all these leaders in the setup. Butler's the international captain, Rowan Powell's the international captain, Ashwin's captained. They're all senior players.
Sangakkara as a coach.
You would wonder, you would think they'd be able to kind of arrest that slide. There's enough. If you imagine it was a young team, you understand, a bit more why inexperienced, not able to handle the pressure. But you've got so many seasoned pros there, massive personalities that you would have thought they were going to kind of sit down and just take, kind of course and look at it and say, okay, what do we need to address? But there's nothing. Even Mirage, who's on the sidelines, is a international captain or captain international level. So yeah, I don't know. It's just surprising how they've gone. I think RCB beat them. I think they're going to beat them.
You think losing Zampa was a bit of a miss for them?
No, I don't. I don't think he's an issue at all. I think they haven't got enough out of the overseas players, to be completely honest. I think the overseas players overall have not performed. So they've tried. So Donovan Ferreira came in, didn't do that well. Berger's been okay. Mirage came in, went out. They've not had the impact that all the teams from their four guys. That's been their. I think Jaspal's then performances have been pretty much up and down. Very middling season for him. But listen, after the year he's had, he's allowed to have a poor year, have a poor competition, right? Do you know what I mean? So it's going to happen again. He's so young, it's whatever. But I think it's a culmination of a variety of factors there. Krishna, I think, was the reason why. I think Butler going as well. It might be a blessing in disguise potentially. Butler going. Who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, Tom Kohler-Cadmore has just had the one game. I don't think he's acclimatized to the conditions yet.
Tom Kohler-Cadmore, do you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, listen, I know Tom Kohler-Cadmore from long time, from Worcestershire days. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's got a bit of a checker background if you look into his history. With Joe Clark and not WhatsApp shit. But he's no Butler. Do you know what I mean? This guy's never had an international cap. He's
But
30 years old.
people are saying Kohler Cadmore is another Jake Fraser McGurk. He's another,
That's complete. That is total. They don't watch him. I've watched this guy for 10 years from his Worcester days. I remember he spanked Freddie Flintoff when he made a comeback in the things of the not BBL, so Fatality Blast. It was a young, cocky upstart called Tom Kohler Cadmore, and he spanked Freddie Flintoff a few times. And I thought, okay, this guy's something about him. And all that shit came out, and then he joined Yorkshire. Obviously now he's at Somerset, but no, he ain't no Jake Fraser. Anyone says that, they're talking absolute baloney, man.
That's what I've heard from so many people. Oh, he's another Jake Fraser McGurk. He's gonna hit 80 of 30. You wait and watch Tom Kohler Cadmore. But again, to his credit, he's only gotten one game, 18 of 23, nothing to show for. But again, he has to do it in when the chips are against him. I don't know if he's going to be able to stand up, which is why maybe, I mean, we'll obviously look at the RR game with RCB a little later, but maybe Dhruv Jurel should open the batting. Maybe Samson should come up the order. I don't know maybe Cadmore should open. I don't know what exactly the solution is, but we'll talk about that a little later. Retentions for you all.
Well, Rain Parag, obviously. Parag has got him retained.
What a surprise, man.
Yeah, I know. I know, yeah, shocking, but Sandeep Sharma?
Interesting. Sandeep Sharma.
Oh, no, it's also about Samson or Jaspal, isn't it? So, okay. Got to top this one, actually. Bloody hell.
I'll go with Samson and Jaiswal. I trust Jaiswal to come back. He's the future of Indian batting, so I cannot leave him. Riyan Parag is now a calm-headed person. I think CSK team would do more justice to him.
Ooh. Oh, man.
Imagine CSK having Riyan Parag. And my international players would be I'll stick with Butler and Nandre Berger. Pace he's got. He's going to be a big prospect.
Interesting.
We say prospect. Berger's 30 years old next year. Bloody hell.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah. 30 years old next year. End of the year, but he's born December 95.
Anyways, you mentioned Chennai.
Sorry. I agree with that. I think Samson. Yeah, fine. Samson. I go with Anurag with this selection, yeah.
All right. Let's move on. You mentioned Chennai. That's our next team. Chennai Super Kings never really got a momentum going throughout the season, but you still expected. I think all of us had them qualifying, to be honest. Start of the season, the day of, I think, or the last day before the match, MS Dhoni steps down from captaincy. Humongous call. Ruturaj Gaikwad is the captain. MS Dhoni kind of teased it on Twitter, saying in new role and all that. But Ruturaj Gaikwad everybody said, oh, is this another Ravindra Jadeja? Is this another Hardik Pandya situation? But Ruturaj Gaikwad has been groomed apparently for the captaincy from a year or so. That's what the reports have been saying. He's been spending a lot of time with MS Dhoni to pick his brain and talk about captaincy and all that. So Ruturaj Gaikwad made captain of CSK. They win their first game against RCB. Lose, win, lose. Like they were going, it was like a seesaw season. They kept winning, they kept losing. They never really got a string of wins going, but you still thought they'll still make the top four. At least with the quality that was there on paper, you still expected them to make the top four. Even that last day against RCB, you still thought, okay, the chips were in their favor. At least mathematically speaking, CSK had more opportunities to qualify, but they just didn't take that opportunity, and they never really took the opportunity to confirm their spot in the playoffs. A lot of things didn't go well for them, but a lot of things also went right for them. A very mixed season for CSK. Rachin Ravindra, the new buy, Daryl Mitchell, the new buy, Samir Rizvi. So many points to talk about. Anurag, your thoughts on CSK this season?
Yes, man. They have themselves to blame and nobody else. The management taking some decisions were absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the chopping and changing each and every match, it was never the CSK formula, but these guys had no clarity this time. Trying to persist with a guy like Ajinkya Rahane, all respect to him, is a great player, but he's not a Shane Watson to persist with. Shane Watson was another breed. He's a champion player and he can steamroll you on a single day if it's his day. But Rahane is not that kind of a player, and you cannot stick with him when he's out of form. These guys buy Samir Rizvi for 8 crores or something and not even put him in an impact player slot. I don't know what they're trying to do. Then they've had these injuries to some of their best bowlers like Patirana, Mustafizur, and they had no backups. They didn't try to buy players who
Mustafiza
can perform.
left. Mustafiza.
Mustafiz left. Yeah, he left the
He
side.
was injured as well in few
Yeah,
matches.
he was injured.
He-
He was also
yeah,
injured for a few matches. Yeah.
Well, it didn't plan for Mustafiza the Fizz to leave. Patrona was there,
That's why
but
they got Gleason. That's the reason why they got Richard Gleason.
Matt Gleason.
yeah, nice to see Gleason actually. But anyway, sorry, Anurag.
Yeah, no problem. And Jadeja with that kind of a bowling form did not contribute at all. So it was always uh, there for them to lose each and every match, and they couldn't take the home advantage as well. Somehow it was strange that the Chennai wicket didn't spin in the first half of the tournament, and Chennai couldn't take advantage of it. Neither their spinners spun the ball nor their batters put up great scores. So they have themselves to blame. All the rant goes towards the management and the players.
I would argue that
That is an absolutely for Anurag. That is an absolutely scathing review, isn't it? Wow.
no, but I
I
agree
mean,
with most of it.
that's as calm. That's as cold as ice from Anurag. He is carved through. CSK. I love it. I love it. Not like me, like flapping about and screaming and shouting, but Anurag's words just delivers such a
Cold
gangster like.
cuts.
Yeah.
The final words, give me your final rights to the death of the franchise.
Eulogy.
Wow.
Oh my God.
He's properly gone at you there,
Hey,
Krishna.
don't kick a man when he's down, man. Don't kick a man when he's down. But
I don't know. Only themselves to blame. That's what.
Yes.
no, I mean, absolutely bang on then, Anurag. Like, I think one thing that I just did not like this season was Ruturaj's lack of faith in the spinners. See, because what MS Dhoni has always been is spin to win, right? He's always trusted an Ashwin or a Jadeja or a Moeen Ali. Last season, how influential was Moeen Ali? He didn't bowl that much, but whatever overs he bowled, he took a wicket or two and he changed the game completely. I mean, I remember I was at that RCB game. He took the wicket and changed the game completely. Faf and Maxwell were going bonkers. So, I mean, he just didn't trust. And even that game against RCB, right? When Santner and Theekshana were bowling in those whatever that phase of 6-7 overs, right, where RCB was struggling to score, I'm just wondering, okay, this is a proper Faf himself called it a Ranchi wicket of day 5. Why didn't you use a Rachin Ravindra? You could have gotten four out of Rachin Ravindra. You could have gotten, and then they go to Shardul Thakur, they go to Tushar Deshpande. Shardul gets spanked for 60 in 4 overs. I mean, some of the decisions was just straight up ridiculous. I mean, Dhoni would not.
Remember that match where Daryl Mitchell bowled four of his overs?
Yeah, against LSG or something, or was it Punjab? Or
Man,
something?
yes, LSG.
LSG. Yeah.
I couldn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, Ruturaj, I think definitely a work in progress in terms of a CSK captaincy. But again, you're comparing him to the greatest ever captain in the history of IPL. Let's make no mistake about it, MS Dhoni. That's such a huge standard to live up to. I don't think anybody can. My expectation was, genuinely for Ruturaj, was if he can do better than Jadeja 2022, I think he's done well. So he's done well on that front. He's definitely done well. He's reached some sort of expectation, but definitely a work in progress in captaincy. And I think CSK's batting this season has been largely reliant on Ruturaj and Shivam Dube. If these two guys didn't get going, it was game over for CSK. No matter how many 5-6 ball innings Dhoni played, I think it was definitely that was the fulcrum of this side. And Ruturaj Gaikwad batted brilliantly. Let's make no mistake, he was fantastic. Shivam Dube took the onus. I think all teams were scared of Shivam Dube, but I think towards the end of the season he petered out. But Dhoni, right? I mean, let's. I didn't hear you, Shay.
What? He made the World Cup squad.
He made the T20 World Cup squad. Yeah, he's there. He's there in the squad. I think he did well also for India and whatever chance he got leading up to the IPL. So I think a very deserved World Cup spot, no doubt. But MS Dhoni, like, Shay, let's talk about MS Dhoni. He is, of course, we know him. He's the guy. People cheer for other players to get out so that MS Dhoni can come into bat. And honestly, it's a little ridiculous at this point. But do you think him not playing enough balls cost CSK at the end?
I thought I think I saw some Fleming saying that they're dealing with, obviously trying to protect his fitness because he's not obviously what he was, because ultimately he's only playing 2 months a year in this competition, right? So he might be healthy and fit for a normal guy, but is he match fit, able to play intensity? Because he's playing all the games, obviously keeping, but I felt there was an element of him hiding down the order. But I think in hindsight, could you say, well, he actually did very well, didn't he? He played a lot of excellent.
He was striking at 260, man. 260.
But but I wonder if the onus is on him to perform. I feel like this year was kind of like a swan song year for him. He was just there. Almost, I don't believe there's like any real future in MS Dhoni. I think he was just there. I think they might have persuaded him to stay on. I think he wants to probably pack it in 1 or 2 years ago, but because he's such an important cog in the wheel, and also maybe to finally pass the baton over to Gaikwad and that. I think maybe that's why. I think last year he intended that with Stokes, it didn't work out obviously, but I personally feel like with Dhoni that if he promoting up the order and give him that responsibility and that expectation to deliver, he may not have. But I feel like the shackles were completely removed. I feel like it didn't matter if he got a dock or he got his 30 off 11 balls. It felt like he was just there for the fanfare side of things. At times, I didn't even feel like Dhoni was there to win the game for CSK. Does that make sense? Like if you look and think like the team is obviously designed, set up, and selected to win a game of cricket, but I felt with Dhoni's like, oh well, Dhoni's there, just part of the fabric now. He's just there for, I'm not saying for merch, but he's just there to kind of like galvanize the fans and keep people on side and keep. Maybe it was a BCCI decision potentially. Like, just need to keep Dhoni on, just as long as possible. Roll this guy out.
It's bigger than the team. It's an IPL decision. It's a branding decision.
Like with Kohli, so it also comes to such huge status. I feel like he's there to win matches for RCB. I never felt once that Dhoni's there to win matches for CSK. I just felt he was there, and if he did well, great. If he didn't, who cares? That was how I took it. But eventually, as we've seen with Jurgen Klopp in Liverpool, everything must come to an end. You know, all great things must come to an end. And I think CSK, I think the best thing that could have happened to them, actually, jokes aside, is them not qualifying for the playoffs. I think, okay, maybe we need to move on. Moeen turns 37 next month. Shaday's now 35. I mean, listen, forget about Mitchell, he's 33, but I'm looking at those two, in particular, Moeen, Jadeja, Dhoni, those three, and thinking, Jadeja will stay on, there's no doubt about it. He's not going anywhere. But I wonder if maybe with Moeen, you know, Ratchin could take his spot, I think, in terms of his bowling overs. So I don't think they'll miss. I think if Moeen Ali doesn't play next year, who cares? I don't think he'll be missed, to be honest with you. I think Darren Mitchell's a very good player, and I would keep him. But I think maybe it's time. I think the CSK with Dhoni, because I think a lot of people, irrespective of where you're from, you don't support the CSK for CSK. You support them because of Dhoni. I think if you were from Mumbai, you're from Delhi, if you're from Pondicherry, no matter where you're from, man. If you're from, I'm thinking from Dharamshala. My Indian geography is pretty terrible, as you guys know. But I'm thinking north, south, east, and west. My point is, if you're from Bengal, right, just support the CSK because of Dhoni. That's what, you know what I mean. And I'm robbing this off a guy called Matt Roller from Wisdom, because he mentioned this in a podcast a few weeks ago when covering IPL, and he said he was in a taxi for covering the England Test series, and one of the guys in the taxi was like, "Well, I support Chennai." He's like, "Where are you from?" I don't know where he said, some town nowhere near Chennai. Oh, well, Dhoni play. Literally, this guy was telling Matt Roller that, and so because he's such a huge legend of the game, and Dhoni's really. I'm going on one, but like he's more of a fast because his stats, especially at test level, aren't amazing. He's not to me. If you go play for player, he's not one of the elite greats of Indian cricket. Not a chance, man. No one will ever tell me he's up there with Gavaskar and Sachin. No way, man. No way. But his status, because of who he is and his character, his personality, this long-haired motorbike, coming in, 2004, all those years ago. I think that precedes itself. And then people follow him for the character he is more than the player he's been in most recent past. I know he's been a very good player at white ball level, but, how long can Chennai keep wheeling him out for? I think now is time to call it a day. Like I said, Liverpool lost their own legend yesterday, and it's a very tearful and sad goodbye. I can tell you as a diehard Liverpool fan, that was a hard day yesterday for me. A hard fucking day. But life goes on, and I think CSK need to look and say, you know what, we have enough's enough now. we need to move on from Dhoni. And I think the fact you've not qualified for the playoffs, Krishna, is the perfect opportunity to say goodbye.
Yeah, I think now I remember this Dark Knight quote where they say, "You live long enough to see yourself as a villain, or you either die a hero."
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, from Harvey Dent said that.
Mm-hmm.
You start. What was the line?
You
Someone
either you live a
It's a
hero,
great
or
line.
you
Someone
die
pull it
a
out. Like,
hero, or live long enough to see yourself as a villain.
become a villain.
Hmm.
Live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Because I don't think he's anywhere near that just yet. But I think eventually it will end up that way. Because CSK, you've had so much success, but if you don't qualify next to 1 or 2 editions, and you've got Dhoni being hid down at 8 and 9, I'm telling you now, the fans start to turn.
Right.
And he doesn't deserve that. Because I believe, not he's been forced, obviously. He's not a guy, you can just look at him. He's not a guy to be forced, but he's been coerced into carry on playing. He's 43 years old, man. You know, DK's calling it a day at 39, playing so well, and he's calling it a day. You know, it's a hard tournament, IPL. All the travel, you know, over 2 months, it's bloody intense. Never mind the fanfare. You go onto your phone, you've got thousands, hundreds of thousands of comments. Look at Carrie Brook last year, how the effect it had on him. It's a very intense tournament on and off the pitch. And I think, you know, for a 43-year-old to still be doing it with his status and all the eyeballs on him, nah, man. I don't think he doesn't need it. He don't need the money, that's for sure. What does he need this for? He don't need it. CSK needs him more than he needs CSK. That's a fact.
100%. I mean, well, I have a slightly nuanced take on this. I mean, personally speaking, I felt last year, once CSK won it, I thought it was a perfect fairy tale ending for him to retire. Also, given that he got out first ball in the final, I thought, okay, maybe it's a good time. And if you had already been planning Ruturaj Gaikwad to take over, assuming, I mean, since this was all under wraps, apparently it was a year of planning. If you had already planned for Ruturaj Gaikwad to take over as captain, then it made sense for Dhoni to sort of call it quits. But again, the thing is, you can't really force a player to retire, right? And also a mega auction is coming up next year. I think the thought was that, okay, let Dhoni at least be there for one season so that Ruturaj feels safe and confident. But I think safety and I mean, all this is kind of, it's a little overrated. I mean, CSK it's not. Yes, I mean, phenomenal franchise, but it's not like you're not handing over like the presidency of a country. You know, it's not the same thing. You know, like.
But to be fair, it is almost like that, isn't it? To an extent in India.
Well, yeah, but okay. See, the thing is, I think the issue is like, Dhoni is almost like a photo op at this point. It's a photo op. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
It's a photo op. It's okay. Like it's the reason your fans are coming to the stadium. The reason people are watching. All that is fine and great. I mean, he can still do that as a mentor. I don't see why he has to play in the team. But at the same time, since he was playing so well, right? If he's there in the team, then I think it's fair to ask Dhoni to play maybe instead of 6 balls or 5 balls, maybe play 20 balls, right? You don't. I mean, he's not him coming below Santner and Shardul Thakur. I think is like completely ridiculous to me, completely nonsense. Like, how can a guy he's by the way, he's still striking at 260, he's still fit, he's still able to play. Like you said, CSK needs him more than he needs CSK, 100% guaranteed. But if he's playing for CSK, if he's doing it, why is it an unreasonable ask for him to come ahead of Santner and Shardul Thakur? I think that is completely bogus. But then again, yes, of course, I'm not expecting Dhoni to be the finisher of 2011. You know, I'm not expecting him to do that. But I think it's him not playing more balls, not being out there at the crease for more time, genuinely cost CSK. I genuinely feel so. Given that Rahane was, not doing well for them, Shivam Dubey was so much responsibility on Shivam Dubey. Daryl Mitchell was not doing so great for them. Samir Rizvi didn't really get much opportunity. So I just felt, I mean, CSK has missed a lot of tricks this season. Also the fact that, I mean, I also want to get to their bowling as well, but CSK has missed a lot of tricks this season.
But didn't Flair made a comment about a month ago and said, so alluding to Dhoni's fitness, yes, he looks good to us, but when you're fielding for 20 overs with the gloves, then he might in the private said, I can't bat for you at 5 and 6. I've only got 10 balls in me, Stephen. I haven't got anything more than that. Like he might be in mid-season. We don't know this. This is conversations we'll never be privy to.
Right, right.
So I wonder, like I said, I wonder if he's even got it in him left. You can look good in terms of physicality on the field where you're keeping and stuff, or walking out to the middle. But like I said, I can tell you, as someone's 41, the guy's a year and a half older than me. I'm not a professional athlete. Don't get me wrong, of course not. Keep yourself reasonably fit, but I can tell you now that no matter what you do, no matter what you eat, the body deteriorates, and he has gone through an intense 20-year career. So we don't know where he's at physically. I think mentally he's absolutely fine. But like I said, I think I understand where you're coming from. You see, Mull, he's hitting 25 or 6 balls in a cameo. Get him up the order. But I think the reason why he's doing that is because that's all he has left in him. I honestly don't think the body's got much more to give, because he's been so physical. And this career he's had, he's hardly been in the background, has he? That man's been front and centre for 20 years. So that takes its toll. I wonder if there's I believe that's all he can give to the franchise now, Krishna. As much as you want him to go and bat 5 and face 40 balls and score 95 or whatever.
I mean, no, I'm not expecting 40, to be honest. Like 15 to 20 balls is all I really expect. I think I felt 15 to 20 is not that much of an ask, to be personally honest. But I mean, if the body is deteriorating, if the conversations behind closed doors as such, then I mean that's a different conversation. But yeah, I mean, I want to touch a little bit on CSK's bowling also. CSK, by the way, injury marred season. Deepak Chahar pulled up. Devon Conway was injured. Pati Rana was injured. Mustafizur left early. And honestly, given that they had so many injuries, most teams would have folded. But CSK, being the champion side they are, I think they managed that part of it well. Even though they didn't win as much as they should have, they managed that well. But I think good find for them is Simarjeet Singh. I am very happy with the way he's bowled this season. Tushar Deshpande has exceeded all expectations. He had an incredible Ranji season. So did Shardul Thakur. But Shardul Thakur this season, I mean, it's the Shardul Thakur is a man of two. There's a two tales of Shardul Thakur, right? There's the Shardul Thakur who suddenly turns up and then is like the greatest player in the world, and then there's the Shardul Thakur who is the Ramesh Pawar Shardul Thakur, if you will, right?
Ramesh Pawar.
Right?
No, that's a blast in the past, man. Shit me. Ramesh Pawar. Hey.
But I mean, genuinely, I think CSK's bowling has lost them a fair. That game against LSG should not have been lost, man. But of course, kudos to Stoinis. They shouldn't have lost that game. The game against Punjab.
That was a whirlwind knock.
Yeah.
From Stoinis, man. God.
But I think CSK will look back on that game. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. God, yeah. But, listen, they only just lost out.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did he lose by?
27 runs.
On DLS?
No, it was just 27 runs.
I mean, to qualify was way lesser, but
yeah, qualify they needed to lose by less than 18 runs.
Oh, it was a qualification. I was sorry, I saw it on the screen. Yeah, okay, fine, okay, yeah. Well, listen, mate, it's not like you got railroaded in like SRH last year. It wasn't like a wooden spoon job, was it? So you'll come again. So.
Yeah, I think the main reason why CSK stayed afloat was Tushar Deshpande, Simarjeet Singh, Simarjeet Singh to some extent, but mainly Ruturaj and Dubey. Very dependent on Ruturaj and Dubey. And the shuffling of the batting order was ridiculous, man. Daryl Mitchell at 5, no. Rahane opening, no. Like, not...
Yeah.
And I think the fact that they expected Rahane to have the season he had last year, which he did, it's a little unrealistic for us to expect. Because Rahane also, make no mistake, Rahane in the test side has also been like this, a one-hit wonder of 100 in Melbourne, the innings at Lords. But really his career has not been that influential, if you look, and he's been given a string of opportunities. He's been given more opportunities than he probably should have been given. And I think they should have probably groomed a Rizvi well. They could have gone also. They had a guy like Sheikh Rashid also who's been brilliant. Mm-hmm. They could have looked at him. They could have maybe looked at a Hunger Gaker also. They had options there, they had other options. And also CSK has not really got a wrist spinner in the last, they've not played a wrist spinner ever since Imran Tahir, if I can remember. So, I think a lot of question marks for CSK next season, personally speaking. We've talked a lot about CSK. I think we'll just do the retention and we'll move on.
Rachan Ravindra and Patirana as
Mm-hmm.
my foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
Ruturaj and Rizvi.
No Dube?
No. I think in those clutch moments where you need match winners, this guy is giving up. I've seen the last match and I was disappointed.
Interesting. Yep. Shay?
I like Darryl Mitchell a lot,
Mm-hmm.
actually, but I just want to retain. I actually like Dubé as well, and
Guys, you're
I'm not.
forgetting Jadeja also.
Well, I haven't seen the Ridley. Jadeja, I would let go. I could see him go to Rajasthan. You know that.
Wow. Okay.
I could see that replacing Ashwin and something like
Mm.
that. Yeah, I don't think he will, but I could see him there if he was ever to leave CSK. He could finish his career back where it all started, right? Yeah, maybe I just kind of I haven't seen enough of Rizvi to tell me that I would retain him ahead of Dubé. I haven't seen enough of Rizvi. Dubé, yes, at the end, but he was phenomenal. The reason why they came a close fourth was because of him a lot of the time. So I think he's found a home there at Chennai. But yeah, I'll go with Gaikwad definitely, and I would retain Ratchin. But yeah, I don't know. I'm undecided. I'm
Okay.
undecided on the
Okay.
overseas. I've got time for one more team before I go. Can we please lay into Mumbai before I shoot off?
Yeah, sure. I think we'll just go straight into it. Mumbai Indians. Let's go into it.
I am very interested to hear both of your opinions on the absolute fucking shit show that we've seen for the past few months at the Wankaday. You know, they played that stadium name is fitting because they played wank for 2 months, led by one of the wankiest coaches out there. Yeah, fraud in Mark Boucher, man. That fucking charlatan, man. Honestly, fool, man, absolute fool. But the biggest jester is Hardik motherfucking Pandya. You know that whole the whole show around him. I've never seen Indians turn on their own like that. You know, and that's respectful because there was some underhanded shit going on there, man. How he traded back from Gujarat, you know. But I am very keen to get both your opinions, you know. So yeah, sorry, it's not my show, obviously, Christian and you, but I'm keen to know what you guys both think about everything around, especially starting with the whole Hardik Pandya, and did that really have as big an impact as I think it did on their performances, or was it really just more of a media thing?
Anurag.
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay. So KK did a pre-show of the IPL with some other guests, and I had the audacity to predict that CSK and Mumbai would reach the finals, and that would be my finals. None of that happened. First thing. Then another mistake I did was to compare Hardik Pandya's exchange with Cameron Green. I assumed that this guy would surpass Cameron Green's performance and would do equal justice. Even that didn't happen. And I thought Rohit Sharma would now finally have a breakthrough season, will finally have his orange cap, and will be eligible for the Indian captaincy and all that shit. And nothing happened. So everything, all my predictions came down the drain, and Mumbai obviously got eliminated. It was the first team to get eliminated. Ishan Kishan, as a youngster, has always been on and off. His performances are like a sine curve: 0-1-0-1-0-1. That's how he plays. They didn't have a backup plan for Surya's injury. They couldn't have that aggressor in the top of the order. They kept shuffling Tilak Varma as well. He didn't have clarity in his batting, even though he was the best batsman in their team. Then their bowling sucked every single match.
It stuck with Brevis, stuck with Tim David. After
Exactly. Tim David
very,
sucked every match as well.
yeah,
I mean,
Brevis.
he didn't look like the cricketer he was last season or the one he plays for Australia. He looked absolutely clueless. Tim David, he couldn't finish his matches. Hardik Pandya couldn't finish matches. I think everything amounted to Mumbai Indians' loss.
Alpaca, one game, smashed out. God, never seen again.
Uh-huh. Yes. So all of this contributed to Mumbai's demise. I should say demise. And Mark Boucher, man, he has to go. They have to
Yeah,
find someone else to guide this team from the ashes.
I think when you looked at the initial like sort of reactions to Hardik Pandya becoming captain, none of them were positive. I don't think anybody was happy about Hardik Pandya becoming captain, um, and I don't think anybody in the stadium even like cheered for Hardik Pandya. I think everybody was booing him. It was, and here's the thing, I do like Hardik Pandya as a cricketer. Maybe as a person, maybe not so much, but as a cricketer, I feel he's one of India's top all rounders. And for him to be treated like that, I personally didn't like it. But I mean, of course, fans do what fans do, so I'm not gonna comment on that. But um,
Is he lucky to be selected for the World Cup?
I think he was going to be there irrespective, because you can't India. The problem is we don't groom all rounders, and the only one we've groomed properly is Hardik Pandya besides Ravindra Jadeja. So I think he was going to be there just because there's nobody else. But um,
Yeah, I think as Indians, whenever we see a fast bowling all rounder, we joke off. So he has to be in the team.
yeah, pretty much. But I mean, T20 World Cup aside, I think Hardik Pandya did not handle this transition well at all. I don't think Mumbai Indians handled it at all. And it's very unlike Mumbai Indians, because Mumbai Indians is a team that has groomed people well, they've scouted well. In the past, they've always been very good at managing their team, their players. They've gotten the best out of people. I'm just surprised that Mumbai Indians took such a rash decision, and we've now confirmed, I think, that Rohit Sharma was not aware of this decision when it was announced, and even Ritika also, I think, posted on Twitter or Instagram about it. So the fact that it was all executed so poorly, and I think we discussed this in the pre-show, Anurag, that Hardik Pandya had the potential to be a pioneer, an absolute legend at Gujarat Titans, and now he's just completely given that up. Right? It's not a possibility anymore. And he was a different beast at Gujarat Titans. Make no mistake. Like, he was somebody who managed people well. He was so much more reserved and so much more chill at Gujarat Titans. Now I think the pressure of Mumbai Indians, and he was trying to, like, show off that, oh, everything's great, guys, all that. I mean, you could see through it. I think anybody could see through it. So the Hardik Pandya situation, I don't think has been managed well. I don't, and the thing is, it's not gotten better also. Like, it's still the same. Like, people still are pissed about Hardik Pandya. Rohit Sharma, whether he stays on for the next season, we don't know. But Rohit Sharma has had a better season than he usually does with the bat, but that's not saying much, because he's been pretty crap for the last few years in the IPL. That is, in the IPL. So we'll have to see how he goes in the T20 World Cup. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the future of this team is. I really don't know what the future of this team is. Bumrah should stay. Bumrah will stay. Besides that, Surya Kumar, I don't know. Rohit Sharma, I don't know. Hardik Pandya, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I think gems being chucked into that auction next year from Mumbai. Some players, some great players that might get chucked into the auction because they might want to start again. I think they made a massive faux pas with this whole Pandya thing, how they handled it. I also wonder, I think the Rohit Sharma thing, I wonder if the guys were also frustrated and annoyed how the whole thing ended up, work out its way it did, and how it was and like Rohit, he's playing with Sky and Ish Kish, and not Tilton so much, but some of these guys for a long time. So, for all we know, there could have been kind of two camps set up there. There could have been the pro Rohit camp and the pro Pat. Like, the new guys that are coming, like, well, they don't really care, right? Tim Day, guys, Jella could see Brevis, Devalt Brevis, like, they don't really care. Tim David was shit, right? But, like, I think some of the Indian players, I wonder if they were frustrated and unhappy about how it was dealt with. This guy was pissed off, came back straight in as captain, replacing Rohit. And like I said, like Sky, for example, he could have been loyal to him, and that causes tension, right? We don't know these things. I think cricket's very fascinating, like any sport, in general is fascinating, because what we see in the field is only 10% of it. There's so much more that goes on that we're never ever privy to. I said before, like, don't you might have a conversation. I've got 10 balls for you, mate, Stephen. I got 10 balls for you. We don't know what was going on there. I think it was a massive clusterfuck, and I think they've unfortunately led by someone who's been exposed at international level and now at franchise level. I have no idea what they thought they were doing picking him. I have no idea. I mean, he couldn't even get the for Devalt Brevis, he couldn't get the best out of him. I mean, he brought him back for one game. Now they've obviously. I mean, look at Tristan Stubbs. This guy was basically out the side pretty much last year, and look at him this season. He's a player reborn, and that's what I'm saying to you. Like, look at Vittori's done at SRH. There is Delphine. It's not like you said before, Anurag, about well, it's not so much the captain or the coaching, it's the players. I think was it Roger Stone? He said, I can't remember. Like, you just, when I mentioned about I'll say that was it, Kolkata. And you said, Trace Hyatt, the players just know their roles and they play. But in some franchises, the coaching is extremely important, how they're managed. And I think they needed a Ponting, if anyone, a Sanga, to deal with the situation, the fallout, Gambia, to deal with the situation of what occurred. Because you've got two behemoth personalities, characters in Rohit and Pandya colliding in effect. And look how it's turned out for them. Not one person will convince me it didn't have an impact on that team. I reckon there was probably a lot of shit going in the background, and I will not be surprised at all if they get rid of Boucher, and you'll hear about that quite soon. Because isn't Jay Wardner? Isn't he one making all decisions? Jay Wardner.
Jayawardene, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I mean, he was good leading up to 2020. He was good. I don't know what has changed. Something has changed since 2021, man. Something has just gone off since Mumbai Indians has not looked the same since 2021. To be completely honest,
not be finishing bottom. Just fact. That team to finish bottom is a joke.
It is 100%.
Gujarat Titans, okay, maybe PBKS, no doubt, no problem. And then finishing. Punjab is shit, man. Let's be overall they're shit. So no problem. They finished 10th. Motherfucker, they got fucking Riley Russo, man. Only overseas play, yesterday. Do you know what I mean? They were always going to be fucked if the Riley Russo is your backup when the likes of Livingston's all gone. But Mumbai, man, you run through that team, the names that you reeled off, Anurag, shit, man. Tilak Verma, you got Sky, probably arguably the best T20 batsman in the world. Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya. You got Bumrah, man. You've had Bumrah in that side. You've had Jasprit Bumrah, the best T20 fast bowler going. He's playing with different wickets, man, to everyone else.
No, and they also had, Romario Shepherd was brilliant also.
Romario Shepherd had there. Obviously, Mapaka didn't work out at all.
Nuwan Tushara as well.
Kyle Coetzee.
Yeah.
Joe Coetzee did okay. Coetzee did okay, but I'm missing someone here. One thing I did think that, okay, this is probably why you've messed up. When I saw PS, I saw PS Chawla in the dugout, man. Oh my days! I thought this guy must be the coach. This guy must be the coach, man, on the coaching team. And I'm like, oh my! And he's turning his. I remember as a raw 17-year-old playing for Punjab, man, back in the day, and he looks just terrible. He just looks like I don't. When I saw him, I thought this is one of the reasons why you guys are losing. You turn to him, man. But ultimately,
last year he was phenomenal. Last year, Piyush Chawla.
Oh, I can't remember. But look, okay, fair enough. But I still don't believe a 36-year-old every year PS Chawla should be a squad that's looking to challenge to win the IPL title.
No, this squad, right? When we looked at it, I think when we looked at it like in the pre-show, right? We all unanimously agreed this team would not only qualify for the playoffs, but they'd win the competition. I think we were all like, because on paper, that side, if everything's working in order, it's unbeatable. It's unbeatable, right? Tilak Verma, by the way, was great. Let's give him credit. Surya Kumar was also good enough, but the parts didn't work together at all. It didn't come together at all. And I thought, for the first game they lost, okay, fine. Happens. Mumbai Indians lose 1. They lose
never
2,
good starters.
They lose
Yes.
3. They lose 4. They'll get it going at some point. The engine will start running. It just never got going. It never got going.
RCB turned it around. They just couldn't do it.
No, and also the thing is, at least RCB had some inspiration. There were prayers. But when your own fans turn against you, I think that's a clear sign of, things are not right. And things have not been right in Mumbai since the last 3-4 years. I'm surprised. I'm shocked that we're saying this about Mumbai Indians. This is probably one of the greatest franchises of all time. We're saying this about Mumbai Indians. I'm surprised. I think something has changed. Something clearly needs to be rectified. Needs to be fixed. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what the future of Mumbai looks like. And the problem is they've not gotten closer to solving the issues. The issues that started there at the season, they're still there. So this season has just been a wasted effort, a completely wasted effort. So I think
there's only room for one of Rohit and Hardik. I think there's only room for one. I think they're going to have to make a real tough decision. I mean, they're both. I mean, well, Rohit Sharma's what 37, be 38 next edition. I think they're going to have to make a decision on one of them. I think you have to either lay the marker down with one and say, "Listen, you're a guy." But how are they going to? Could you imagine releasing Hardik back into the mega auction? Could you imagine that? How that would
Rohit
look?
could go back into the mega auction too. I mean,
I think Rohit could go in there. I think they side with one and they go with one. Say you're a guy. I don't think there's room for both of them. What's happening here?
For all you know, Bumrah could just be captain, and they could release both of them also.
I don't think they release Hardik. I think that would basically admit that they made this absolute mess. Maybe they would. Maybe they say, you know what, it's not worked out. Sorry, Hardik, it hasn't worked out. Just we'll try and buy you back in the auction. But I think Rohit might, out of frustration, might say, F you guys, being a local boy, whatever. I'm done. I'm done with you lot. So why not, man? I mean, like I said, Dawan's still batting at what 39. He's gone through the franchises and stuff. Like he's gone. Rohit. It's not like Rohit was always at Mumbai. Man was at Deccan back in 2009. So he can do something else. So yeah, I don't think there's room for the both of them, and I definitely don't think there's any more room for Boucher. That guy's got to go, man.
Mhm.
I don't think Boucher genuinely even has level 4 qualifications. I don't think he actually has that accreditation. I'm not joking. He looks like some Kirsten there, Kirsten and Langer and Ponting. Well, not Dan Vittori, but Gambi. People with real serious credentials in coaching. And then this guy, man. What was he thinking, man? With a selector, then he's shooting, man. Like I said, Jay Wardner. I thought he governs all the franchise. He's like he oversees all of it. With Jay Wardner. He's gonna have to. Maybe he should come in and coach. Who knows? Maybe he should plug the gap. Like Tom Moody, right? Tom Moody came back down from upstairs and came back and coached SRH. You know that, Anurag.
Mhm.
So maybe Jay Warner says, "Listen, I'll come back and coach for a season if there's no one available."
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, I think Mumbai Indians, I think a lot of problems, still more problems. What they're going to do in the auction, we don't know. Retentions, if there are any.
So Surya Kumar Yadav has been commenting on every Instagram post of Ruturaj, so maybe CSK.
Please,
Wow.
Please.
Okay, so Tilak Verma and Bumrah, my Indian choices, and foreigners would be Romario Shepherd and Dewald Brevis.
Interesting. Shay?
Definitely not Brevis. 100,000,000% not Brevis. That guy's overrated. The worst thing happened to that poor boy. I followed him closely, being South African, obviously, and I follow South African cricket a lot. The worst thing that happened to him, that poor bastard, was being called Baby AB. That was the worst thing that happened to that poor kid. The guy was 20 years old last month. He just turned 21. That's the reason why he's not been picked for the T20 squad. I watched him live last year, or the year before against England, in a T20 match. The guy wasn't at it. He's not there yet. He's played some good innings for the Titans. He's again another guy. I mean, it's hard to call a 21-year-old a great player anyway. He's not a great player. He's a player of great innings, but they're few far between. If I had to retain anyone overseas, you nailed it with the Indian players. Fine. Overseas,
Nuwan Tushara, maybe.
like none of them. I'd get rid of them all. Even like Katsia. But Pack hasn't worked out. He's 17 years old. Whatever. Who cares? He's you can't even judge it. You can't even pass comments on the poor kid. Katsia, I could maybe stick around. I think he's got a bit of spunk about him. Katsia, I like him. I like him a lot. Definitely not Tim David, and maybe even Romario Shepherd. Like this guy just does not excite me. I just don't. He just doesn't
He's a
excite me.
fill-in player. Romario Shepherd is a fill-in player.
Yeah, big time, man.
Okay.
You got to get a game for GSK in the SA20. You can barely get a Johannesburg Super Kings. You know what I mean? He hardly played, man.
Yeah.
Maybe could see you, but I wouldn't even give a shit if he left. I can't see two names there that I would retain. There's no one at all screams out at all. The Brevis thing, he's going to go cheap, man, somewhere next year. They're going to drop him and he's going to go somewhere cheap. The best thing for him to happen is just go on the radio for a while. That poor kid, man, honestly. That tag would it's like a ball and chain on his neck, the Baby AB thing. You know what I mean?
I think the same thing happened to Prithvi Shaw as well. He was touted to be the next Sachin Tendulkar. So now look what he's become.
Sehwag, Sachin and Lara.
Brian
He was
Lara.
a he was
Oh
a mix.
God.
He was apparently a mixture of all three, man. Pretty sure.
The media when they say stuff like that. Honestly, they can ruin people's these young boys' careers, man, saying shit like that.
Yeah.
They really get. They don't realize the impact they have
Mm.
when they say stuff like that because these people are just trying to make their way. These are 18, 19-year-old kids at the time, right? And then when you add that, the casual market, which makes up the majority of fans in any sport, they jump on that shit. This guy's next bit. I see the comment section every day in Southern cricket about Brevis. Every day, I've read thousands of comments on this boy, and I watched him over and over, all levels. He's a 21-year-old kid. He needs to just work on his game. He's got so many flaws. I just feel for that guy, man. I just think they say Privy Shaw. Then he's turned up for Northamptonshire last year, Northants, where Karen Nair is right now.
Mhm.
It's just like, I don't listen. I mean, you guys are gonna go now. You guys will get to DC and all that, and you'll discuss about Privy Shaw, won't you? So, I mean, I don't know what's happened to him, man. But anyway, for another day, I guess. From my side, that is. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's just Mumbai, complete catastrophe, and I'm very interested to see from outside looking in what's going to happen because it looks like worse than Sunrisers management over the last couple of years, man. For Mumbai, but anyway, all right. Listen, guys. Cheers, Krishna.
Yep.
Cheers, Anurag.
Thank you.
I'll catch you
Thank you for
on
coming
the next
Shay.
one.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have still 4 teams to discuss and the 2 playoffs. So we'll try to get through it quickly. Let's try to get through it quickly. LSG. We'll go to LSG there. Lucknow Super Giants. I think we all saw the blast of a showdown between Sanjeev Goenka and KL Rahul.
Mhm.
KL Rahul opening the innings against everybody's opinion. They found some good players. I think Mayank Yadav was a good find for them. Yash Thakur, I think, has done well for them this season. Mohsin Khan was okay. Uh, Pretty Nicholas Puran kind of came in. Stoinis did okay, but they never got the opening partnership sorted. I think they were so they kept going back to Quinton. They tried Arshin Kulkarni. Like it never really came together.
The most disappointing was they never tried Kyle Mayers in that spot instead of Decock because Decock is a momentum kind of batsman. When he
Yeah.
goes going, gets going.
Right.
But if he's stuck, he's done. You
Right.
can get him out cheaply. And they should have tried Kyle Mayers, who could also offer you 2 overs here and there, very
Yeah.
economical overs.
Right.
But somehow they couldn't do that. And I think after the spanking Rahul got from his owner, I assume he'll get aggressive and bat with a better strike rate. But man, he's been a disappointment. I
Right.
thought his ego would bite him and he'd just go on a rampage, but somehow it didn't click. And it was clear signs that he's disappointed and he might go out of the franchise, is what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Ayush Badoni has been brilliant. He's done his job whenever his part came up. I think he's going to be retained himself. And yeah, Mayank Yadav need to be retained from the Indian perspective.
Yep.
And from the foreigners, Stoinis has to stay for his all round capabilities. And I'd like Kyle Mayers to stay back as well.
You don't want Puran? No Puran
No
for you?
man, this guy has. I mean, he's disappointed in every franchise he's played.
Yeah, but
One
he's
good
been good.
knock
Yeah,
here and
last few
there.
years he's been good.
One good knock here and there, and his team never qualifies.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, supporter of consistency rather than a flashy innings here and there.
I think with LSG, right, the problem I think they have a good team on paper. Let's
Hmm.
like they have a very good Indian fast bowling core.
Correct.
They don't besides Ravi Bishnoi, I think they've not really had a decent Indian spinner.
Hmm.
And I think the problem is with this team, it's not a team that screams out to you that if we're gonna go do it. It's kind of like New Zealand in a way. Like
Yeah.
they have parts that do
It's
well, but nothing that screams out at you saying, "Hey, we're gonna win the tournament. We're gonna do it,"
correct.
right? And Justin Langer was, I don't know. I thought the move to get Justin Langer was nothing really, nothing to write home about it, but.
Uh-huh.
I think the season was all right. I think they had a good. They found a decent player in Manimaran Siddharth. They should probably give him more opportunities.
Hmm.
He's done
Hmm.
well for Tamil Nadu. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think. But LSG, I think, not really sure. It's very mixed bag season. They had the qualification in their hand, but they just let it go. I think that game against SRH really dented
Exactly.
dented them completely. Uh,
Exactly.
completely dented them. So I don't know. I don't know if KL Rahul will stay at LSG.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's happy at LSG anymore, to be honest,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because of whatever the tussle between him and Goenka. But then they did the photo op to make everything look
Correct.
amazing. Oh, he
Correct.
came to my house for dinner. I think that's nonsense. But
I,
yeah,
I think if you would rate their PR team, yeah, they'd be in the top position alongside with Mumbai Indians. So yeah, all all is well in the at the end of the day.
yeah. Retentions. I think for me, I'd probably go with. I don't know if KL. I don't see KL Rahul getting retained. Personally
Mm-hmm.
speaking, I
Mm-hmm.
think they should try to keep Ravi Bishnoi. Personally
Mm-hmm.
speaking, I think Indian Ravi Bishnoi, maybe a Mayank Yadav.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Arshin Kulkarni is a good player, to be honest. But I
Okay.
don't know how they should try and maybe get him back in the auction. He's a good player.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just needs more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Foreigners, I'd keep Puran personally.
Puran,
I
okay.
disagree with you on that. Puran,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and maybe I don't know. Uh, I can't think.
Now Spinus.
Maybe Shamar Joseph. I don't know. Not
Okay.
Stoinis. Shamar
Okay.
Joseph, decent player. They should have given him more opportunities this season. Just
Mm-hmm.
didn't get it going.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I think
Uh,
his first over, which went for 18, dented everybody's hopes that Shamar Joseph could create an impact.
Hmm. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. I think we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it'll go. Quinton de Kock, I don't see him getting retained. Kyle
Mm.
Mayer should have gotten more opportunities.
Yes, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Lovely player. I miss him.
yeah. Anyways, let's move on to Delhi Capitals. I think I want
Mm-hmm.
to spend just a bit of time on this team. Delhi Capitals. Um, again, we placed them at the bottom of the
Mm-hmm.
We thought they'd finish absolutely dead last. Personally speaking, I
Mm-hmm.
thought they'd finish dead last,
Mm-hmm.
and they took some really hard decisions
Mm-hmm.
this season. Choosing to drop David Warner, choosing to drop Mitchell Marsh,
Mm-hmm.
dropping Prithvi Shaw,
Mm-hmm.
humongous decisions, man. And getting in a Jake Fraser McGurk at the top of the order really changed the entire season for them.
Mm-hmm.
They did way better than anybody's expectations.
Correct.
For me, they deserve a huge thumbs up uh, to have reached to even be in the playoffs qualification contention.
Mm-hmm.
Huge
Mm-hmm.
kudos to them.
I think the entire story revolved around Rishabh Pant on how
Yeah,
he's going to make the comeback,
right,
and he was successful to do that.
100%.
But yes, and I don't think DC were keen enough to win the trophy because their bowling was a huge letdown.
Correct.
Because I didn't expect a guy like Anurag Nokia to perform like this. His pace dropped down to 130s, which was utterly bad for an international fast bowler who used to clock 155 and above. Everybody were going after Anurag Nokia, irrespective of the pitch or the situation. Only with the new ball, probably Khalil performed, and I think isn't he in the reserves of Indian team?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Makes no
maybe.
sense. Makes no
Yeah, I
sense
know.
to
I
me.
don't understand why is he there. Instead, we could have had other players
I
who
mean,
we could have made a
Sandeep
comeback.
or Natarajan should have been there at
Yeah,
that side.
if you would go for youngsters, then why not Sandeep?
Yeah,
Yeah, Fraser was man. I didn't see a youngster that brave with a baseball stance to go after bowlers.
right.
Yeah, I think they did take brave decisions, but these were just decisions from Ponting, and they never looked to go after the trophy. It was just like I could say it as an experiment, and it paid off.
I think they needed Akshar Patel to have a much bigger season, and they needed
Yeah,
Kuldeep Yadav to have a much bigger season.
and
To be
there were strange instances where Akshar was promoted to number 4 position for batting. I thought the BCCI had arm pulled itself into making this decision because they were trying to check if Jadeja or Akshar could fit in that situation for the World Cup. I don't know what happened, but yeah,
right.
that was a speculation from my end.
Yeah, I think, but Delhi, I think they have a decent enough side for next season. I think they've got a decent Indian core.
Yes.
I was very happy to see Abhishek Porel, man. That
Mm-hmm.
guy
Mm-hmm.
was really good last year. I don't know
Correct.
why they didn't give him more chances. This year,
Mm-hmm.
he's really showed his weight. And
Mm-hmm.
Jake Fraser McGurk and Tristan
Mm-hmm.
Stubbs. Oof,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
what a season they
Kristen.
both have had.
Yes.
Jake Fraser McGurk has been one of the stories of this season. What a find! What a find! 100% retain Jake Fraser McGurk. But again, the other story: David
Mm-hmm.
Warner being dropped for
Mm-hmm.
literally almost 90% of the season.
Months. Yes.
Mitchell Marsh also, like, there's so much. Delhi has a lot of time for Mitchell Marsh. I think Delhi fans also really want Mitchell Marsh, but the guy does well in at most one game in an entire
Yes.
season, in if not two seasons.
Mhm.
right? And I think he's heavily overrated in the IPL, heavily overrated.
Mhm.
They paid a lot of money for Mitchell Marsh, they paid a lot of
Mhm.
money for Warner, but at the end, it's the 20 lakh, 30 lakh players that have done it for them, right?
Correct.
Um, I don't know, man. But I'm very happy to see, like you said, Rishabh Pant is back,
Mhm.
and he's back in the T20 World Cup squad. It's
Mhm.
great to see. Rishabh Pant has been a
Yes.
story
Mhm.
for this team. I think they have some parts that work well. They just need to fix the parts that don't work well. And I think
Correct.
they need. Ishan Sharma was good this season, to be honest.
Yes, yes, surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think they just need one good Indian fast bowler. Mukesh Kumar was also not bad. He was decent.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they need to replace Nokia. I think that's
Correct.
gonna they need to
I
do
think
that.
he's done. He needs a different team now.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't try to fill the hole with Lalit Yadav. I'm very happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But Kumar Kushagra also, I wanted him to get more chances.
Uh-huh.
Didn't
Uh-huh.
get that many chances. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think retentions for you, Anurag.
Uh, Rishabh Pant, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I'd go with sorry, what is it? Lalit? Sorry, Abhishek Porel.
Abhishek Porel. Uh-huh.
Yes, Abhishek Porel. And for the
Foreigners.
foreigners, it'll be Fraser and yeah,
Subs.
Tristan Subs.
Same. I'd go with the exact same. Exact
Perfect.
same. No changes there. Let's move on. Punjab Kings. Eternally disgraceful, eternally horrible. Every year they have not. It's been 10 seasons now. They haven't qualified for the playoffs. They've
Correct.
qualified for
After
the playoffs twice in
2014.
the entire history. 17 seasons. Every year, I think somebody said this. Every year is a mega auction for them. So
Correct. Entire team is like thrown into the pool. They buy players as if she's gone to a shopping,
yeah.
and nobody knows what their role is. But you'll on paper you'll have a brilliant team every time, but somehow nobody clicks at the right time.
I think the best summary of this team is, hey, Chris Wokes is in this team. I had no idea. That literally they literally is the summary of this team.
Exactly. Hmm.
And I don't think the management knows what they're doing. I don't
Hmm.
think the team knows what they're doing. Shikhar Dhawan is captain. He's out of the team. Nobody knows why he's out of the team. They say
Correct.
injury. What injury? Nobody knows.
Nobody
Sam Curran
knows.
is made captain. He did all right, to be honest. Sam Curran was all right. I thought he was pretty good in some
Hmm.
matches. But I think the story of Punjab Kings for me has just been two players, and that's Shashank Singh and Ashutosh Sharma.
Ashutosh. Yes.
What brilliant finds, despite this team being abysmal, being an absolute wreck. Shashank Singh and Ashutosh Sharma have literally dragged them to positions of where they could have won the match.
Winning.
It's just that they didn't get that final push. But
Correct.
Shashank Singh and Ashutosh Sharma, for me, have been the stories of Punjab Kings. The only stories to be honestly proud about.
Hmm.
Um, Phenomenal story. Shashank Singh didn't intend to buy him,
Hmm.
gets in the team. He was
Absolutely.
playing at Rajasthan Royals like in 2020. I genuinely was wondering why was Shashank Singh not getting more games. He was at Sunrisers, I
He
think a
was a
decade or two
SRH.
ago.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he didn't get any games there. I felt very bad, genuinely. Arshdeep Singh this season has been okay. Harshal Patel, to everybody's surprise, 22
Purple
wickets,
cap.
purple cap. You see, that's the thing. You don't even realize this team is
Hmm.
has and this team looks good on paper. If things are working well for them, it looks good, right?
Hmm.
But they didn't have Liam Livingstone. They didn't
Hmm.
use Sikandar Raza.
Hmm.
They didn't use Johnny Bairstow was horrible, horrible.
Except for the century in Kolkata.
Horrible, horrible.
Uh-huh.
Riley Russo also, besides the game against CSK,
Mm.
horrible. It's
Nothing
like
else.
I think probably the worst foreign batting contingent this entire IPL has been Punjab Kings, no doubt
Correct.
about it. They were losing. I think the start of the IPL, they were losing 4 or 5 wickets, and then the batting would start with Shashank Singh and
Correct.
Ashutosh
And
Sharma.
Ashutosh, yes. And,
That's
and and it was a brilliant find because Ashutosh has a strike rate of 197 in the domestic T20 competitions.
yeah,
I mean, for them to gauge all this and get a player like him into the team and put him as an impact player was brilliant. But
hmm
again, if your foreign batsmen don't contribute to your majority of the score, then no team can win.
yeah, yeah, true.
They're so
Uh,
disappointing. I mean, Livingston was utter disappointment, man.
yeah,
Every season he disappoints. I don't understand why he cannot play consistently or stay long enough for him to get settled down and play a long innings. I don't think he gets that clarity that Punjab needs him for a longer run to play more overs, but he never does that.
yeah, yeah, true. I think it's uh, it's very sad that Liam
Hmm.
Livingstone is so much potential, man, so much
Correct.
potential.
Hmm.
I thought one of the other good things that happened this season was Harpreet Brar. He
Hmm.
was very economical. Should have had
Correct.
more wickets. He bowled tough overs also.
Mhm,
It's good to see Harpreet Brar do well for Punjab because I really like him. I really rate him.
mhm, mhm,
I just hope he gets a better team. That's
mhm.
all. Because he'd be so useful in a CSK. He'd be so
Exactly.
useful
On a
in
turning
KKR.
track. Yes.
He he'd be so useful, man. I mean, it's so sad. Jitesh Sharma needed to do more, man. Jitesh
Hmm.
Sharma had to do more. Uh, very very poor season for Jitesh Sharma as well. Got starts of like 10, 15, but would never convert it. So yeah, Punjab Kings. Who are they going to retain for you?
Prab Simran Singh, we
Mm-hmm.
forgot about him.
Prab Simran. He was all right.
Yes, yes. And Shashank Singh, because I saw him bowl the last match, so and I was impressed as well. So yeah, why not?
And no Ashdeep, no Harpreet Brar for you.
No, everybody has to go again back to the auction.
Yeah.
And the foreign players, I like Sam Curran, so he will stay.
Mm-hmm.
And who else do you have? Huh, I don't even know who do they have
Rabada was
apart from.
there. Rabada's there.
No, I think he's going to stop playing with the injuries. He'll pick another team.
Yeah,
Mm.
and surprisingly, they didn't use Nathan Ellis also this season at all.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
And
He's
he was
one.
better than Rabada.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Aggressive bowler, youngster. So yeah, Nathan Ellis. Yeah, I'll go with him.
I would go. I'd look to retain. I don't. Shashank Singh I think might be a little bit old. I don't know if
Yeah.
they want to
Hmm.
retain, but okay. I mean, he deserves a retention.
Exactly.
Ashutosh, I don't know. I would look to retain her. I mean, I think if I were Punjab,
Right.
I'd try to retain Harpreet Brar,
Hmm.
but I think it'd be more beneficial for his career if he left
Correct.
Punjab.
Exactly. Exactly.
And foreigners, yeah, I'd agree with you. Sam Curran, maybe Nathan Ellis, maybe
Hmm.
Rabada, I don't know. But
Hmm.
yeah, Sam Curran definitely. So
Hmm.
yeah, Punjab Kings, same story as always. Same
Every
story
time.
continues. It's so sad, man. I want them to do well, man. They have a good
Correct.
team.
They
Just
have a good
doesn't.
fan base as well. I mean, I didn't know they had a lot of support on Twitter,
Yeah, yeah.
but every time the team
Their
disappoints.
social media is great, man. The social media
Correct.
is great.
Correct. Yes. Very humorous,
Yeah,
tacky, wacky,
yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah. Okay, we'll move on to Gujarat Titans. This team, Hardik Pandya not there, Mohammad
Hmm.
Shami injured, um, Rashid Khan out of form slightly. Uh, Onus on Shubman Gill, new captain. How did Gujarat do for you, man?
I think for Gujarat to win a final and to qualify for a final, the crucial combination which worked was Hardik Pandya and Ashish Naira.
Hmm.
That I'll have to be honest.
Hmm.
Now in this season, both of them are not there, and Gill was left alone to put his own thinking.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him.
Yeah.
He himself was kind of here and there with his batting, so he had to concentrate on that. And with Rashid with a hip injury, he was not 100% because I expected him to steamroll MS Dhoni, but MS Dhoni was literally on top of him, spanking him over mid wicket. I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah.
So with Rashid not performing and with Shami not there, it was a huge dent for their bowling attack.
Yeah.
Neither could they defend, neither could their bowlers bowl well for their batsmen to score. Something didn't click, and somehow in the first half they always persisted with Vijay Shankar.
Hmm.
I don't know why they persist with Vijay Shankar. They could have left him, and they had Shah Rukh Khan, right?
Yeah.
And they
They
got then
bought him
they
for 8
realized,
crores or something, 8, 9
yeah,
crores.
they bought him for 8 crores. Then they realized, oh, then we'll have to place this guy somewhere, and it didn't work out for them. Sai Sudarshan was consistent again. I
Yeah.
thought he was a one season wonder
Hmm.
for them in GT, but somehow he came back. He played consistently as well. I see him as a good prospect for Indian team as well with his twin half centuries in South Africa. When our Indian team went there, I think he was well enough uh, to at that level. So he's going to continue. So for them to come back, it's Rashid and Shami who's going to lift this team up.
Yeah.
If not, I see GT again not qualifying.
Mohit Sharma also didn't have the season that he had last time.
Exactly.
They tried Sandeep Warrior, who was okay in patches, to be
Mhm,
honest.
mhm,
Umesh
mhm,
was trusted with the role, but he couldn't deliver either.
mhm.
And Tewatia was also kind of hot, missed. I mean,
Mhm.
he wasn't as good as he was earlier.
Correct.
I think the composition of that side, right, like
Mhm.
largely relied around Hardik Pandya galvanizing those elements.
Correct.
And I think they expected Azmatullah Omarzai to fit
Mhm,
in that
mhm.
side. I thought
All
they would have
rounder role.
given Azmat a lot more chances. Kane
Mhm,
Williamson getting injured, I think, was a bit of a blow for
mhm,
them. Matthew Wade also came in, came out.
mhm.
Saha was okay here and there. I thought,
Saha was very bad. I mean,
yeah,
he was responsible for them having the least run rate in the power play.
yeah,
You know, Gill was conservative. You needed to have another batsman who will be aggressive, but the both started going slow, and it was snail space in
right,
the power play. You
right.
would never come back after such a slow start.
Yeah, yeah, true. Robin Mins, I thought he would get an extended run.
Mhm.
He was injured, and then they brought in
Mhm.
KS Bharat. They
Mhm.
brought in that other guy, Sharath, BR Sharath.
Mhm. Mhm.
So not KS Bharat, sorry, BR Sharath was the guy, not KS.
Yeah,
KS
sure.
Bharat was in KKR. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Gujarat didn't find it. I thought they would find it because they had the gel factor of the previous
Mhm.
seasons. I thought
Correct.
they'd find it, but Gill as a captain again, work in progress, just like
Mhm.
Ruturaj. But
Correct.
I think we'll see later on. Retentions,
So I'd stick with Gill
okay.
because he's your future Indian captain. I could say. I dare say that.
Mm-hmm.
And Sai Sudarshan,
100%.
both
Yep.
batsmen. Yes.
Yep.
And for the foreigners, Rashid is going to come back. He has age on his side. Age.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and David Miller.
Mm.
I'd see no other good foreigner enough to replace those both.
I would like to add one more Indian name in the mix, Sai Kishore. I think he's an
Okay.
interesting player. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's done well for Tamil Nadu in the
Mm-hmm.
domestic comps. He's been
Yes.
unfortunately CSK did not even give him a single game. I'm
Correct.
still mad
Yes.
about that. Um, yeah, maybe Sai Kishore. I don't know, but I think it's hard to look past Gill and Sai Sudarshan. So, but if they
Mm-hmm.
can find a way to get Sai Kishore also in that mix, it'd be great.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Foreigners, I'd probably just retain Miller. I wouldn't.
Okay.
I just
No
retain
Rashid as
Miller.
well. Okay.
Sorry, no, Rashid. I'd retain just Rashid. My bad. Rashid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Miller. I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not convinced on Miller. So
Okay.
we'll see. Yeah, but I think that's all 10 teams.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go quickly to the qualifier one. Okay, I was
Mm-hmm.
hoping Shay would stay here for this, but this is the Mahabali Mahabharat clash.
Mm-hmm.
KKR versus SRH, 1 versus 2.
Mm-hmm.
Both
Mm-hmm.
teams flying high right now. Both teams
Mm-hmm.
playing the most solid cricket, the most
Mm-hmm.
entertaining, inspiring cricket you could ever see in your life in T20 cricket. Um, I don't know who to call, man, between this game. I really don't know.
I think like Shay was telling, SRH never has a perfect team, but I'd go with the opposite claim because
Mm.
I believe SRH would do better on Ahmedabad rather than in Chennai.
Yeah,
So they could easily beat KKR on the first playoff.
right.
Then once they qualify and go to Chennai, that is when they're going to suffer
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen their batting against Chennai in Chennai.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't that convincing, so
Terrible, terrible. Yeah.
very bad. So on
But
flat
KKR2
wicket,
was terrible. KKR2 was terrible in that game.
yes, because Chennai somehow bowled very good that day. They
Yeah.
they kept all those batsmen in check, so they could chase it down. So I think yeah, if you could ask me, KKR is going to lift the title.
Interesting, interesting.
Mhm.
I feel like the game largely rests on how. I think it's a battle of the openers, man. It's
Mhm, mhm,
I also the fact that Salt is gone. I think probably
mhm,
Gurbaz will come in. I think
mhm.
that's a straight swap. But whether Gurbaz will open at the top or whether Venki will open at the top, I think that's a question mark.
Correct.
But I think yeah, it's genuinely whoever wins, whoever does has the better power play. I think will win the game. And the thing is, I see SRH having the better power play because of the form that Head and Abhishek
Mhm,
are in.
mhm.
I do see. I don't know. I feel because of this change of Salt going out, maybe Narayan might just get stopped a little.
Okay. Mhm,
But still, SRH. I mean, KKR probably has the better middle order than SRH to
correct.
combat such a situation.
Mhm,
But I think Head and Abhishek will do well enough for them.
mhm,
That's my
mhm,
take. The
mhm,
key battles for me, I think, are going to be Harshit Rana versus Travis Head. I think that's going to be a
mhm,
key battle, and
mhm,
Varun Chakravarti versus Heinrich Klaassen. I think this is going
mhm,
to be. And on the other side, I'd say Sunil Narayan.
mhm.
So on the other side, I'd say Pat Cummins versus Sunil Narayan. I think that's going to be an
Uh,
interesting one, and probably maybe Bhuvaneshwar Kumar versus say a Ramandeep or a Vink, like one of the middle order. So
Russell.
yeah, that too. But
Hmm.
Bhuvi I think has always been good against Russell. Like he's always gotten
Mhm.
him.
Is it okay?
At least that's. I mean, he's always gotten him bowled or cleaned up. So
Mhm,
at least I would
mhm,
say Bhuvi. But yeah, Bhuvi versus Russell, another key battle.
mhm.
So yeah, but I think my prediction, I think SRH will beat KKR. Personally speaking,
Yes.
I
Okay.
feel SRH will beat KKR.
Mhm.
And also SRH has the more. I feel SRH is suited for Ahmedabad's
Correct. They do
batting.
better in Ahmedabad. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm expecting
Flatter wicket.
SRH. I'm expecting big things from Nitish, man. I'm hoping
Mhm,
he's gonna do something special.
mhm,
I don't know. I'm not saying I want SRH to win the title, but I think yeah, I have a little bit of a fancy corner for them to win this
mhm,
title.
mhm.
So yeah, I think that's on the SRH KKR game. We'll see. It's going to be a big clash tomorrow. The
Yep.
eliminator game, big game.
Mhm.
Rajasthan Royals out of form. RCB, the most informed team in the history.
Mhm. I think the only thing against RCB now is that they don't have their fans to support them. It's all going to be the 11 on the field who are going to win the game for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If Rajasthan can step up after those 4 defeats,
Yeah.
then RCB with those chinks in their armor are not going to survive onslaught of our Rajasthan.
Right.
But if you think the momentum of RCB is going to just, I mean, get Rajasthan who already lost many games,
Mm-hmm.
then RCB is going to definitely win.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think Rajasthan is going to win this because RCB does not have their fan support now.
Whoa, big call, man, big
Yep.
call. So
Sanju.
you see Rajasthan finding it in themselves.
Yes, both. I think two players going to step up this time. Both Samson and Parag will step up their game and ensure RCB's defeat.
Big call, big call.
Hmm.
Man, it's hard to, it's at this point how it's hard to see Rajasthan winning this game because,
Hmm.
I don't know. Maxwell is due. He's so due,
Hmm. Hmm.
and he's been terrible this season. But he
Hmm.
got some form in that game against CSK. Faf Duplessis is doing well now. Virat Kohli, though, you don't need to say anything. He's
Yeah.
he's on a roll right now. I don't know. Because the tails and the wind and everything is flying for RCB at the moment. It's hard to look past RCB. At least winning the eliminator. I don't know if
Hmm.
they'll win the qualifier, but
Hmm.
at least winning the eliminator, I definitely see them because it's just I don't know. It feels like destiny. To be
Hmm.
honest, it feels like destiny. 6 out of 6. But of course, we've seen destiny hurt
Correct.
RCB in the same token many
Law of
times.
averages is going to catch up someday or the other. So
Wow, wow. Gonna make a lot of Bangalore fans upset, huh? But
I have to be honest because as a CSK fan, I've seen how it
yeah.
leveled us because 21-10 was our ratio against RCB.
Hmm.
That's how many wins we had, and suddenly on a crucial day we lost. So
Yeah.
it caught up to us someday or the other.
Yeah. I don't know. I think RCB will. I feel RCB will win that game. I don't know
Hmm.
if they'll win it handsomely, but they will win that
Okay.
game, in my opinion.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
yeah, we're against. I guess that's one we disagree on. Key battles for you on that game.
So it's Samson versus Siraj
Mm-hmm.
and Parag versus we have who do we have?
Lockie,
Luck is not going to make a big impact, but
or
yeah,
Maxwell. Maxwell is also
yeah,
there.
Maxwell versus Riak, yes, absolutely. If he's going to try to bowl in the power play, Samson is going to really be aggressive on him. I mean, there's no point defending Maxwell, not try to attack him and just tap him here and there. You got to attack Maxwell so that it'll dent their hopes.
They'll need Sandeep Sharma back. He's been injured, right? They'll need him back.
Correct,
I think they
correct.
desperately
Hmm.
need him back.
Hmm.
Avesh Khan also has been out of the side, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm.
So
I mean, he's been out of form as well. He's
yeah,
not delivering those consistent Yorkers or back of the line deliveries. So,
yeah, yeah. But I think another key battle. If Sandeep is back, Sandeep to
mhm.
Kohli or Trent Bolt to Kohli, I think that's going to be a
Yep.
big battle. That'll probably
Hmm.
decide the game. I feel that's going to
Yes.
decide the game.
If the
Um,
ball is swinging, then Virat Kohli with the left
yeah,
against the left arm swing of Bolt is
and
very very.
the other one, Uzi slash Ashwin to Maxwell.
Uh huh. Uh
I
huh.
think this
Yeah.
is another key battle.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you Ashwin to Maxwell is always entertaining, but Maxwell
Correct.
has always had the one up
Advantage.
on Ashwin, but Chahal has always been good against Maxwell. So
Correct.
there's a lot
Yeah.
to look
I think
into.
I've observed this pattern. He started throwing wide off to Maxwell, and still Maxwell goes after that wide ball, chases it, and
Yeah,
somehow it lands into the fielder. So I
yeah.
think Maxwell has to get over it.
A word on Patidar and Green.
Okay, so the way Patidar stepped up his game against spin, I
Yeah,
think I have never seen him play that way.
yeah.
Because in test matches, he's looked very, I mean, gullible.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't evoke that confidence of a senior player because he's not young. He's
Mm-hmm.
probably 30, 31.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he'd step up whenever needed, but somehow it didn't throw. But
Yeah,
the way he stepped up now for RCB, the way he's controlling those middle overs has been very impressive.
right.
And Cam Green's all-round abilities every game is really helping them in the
Mm-hmm.
back end. It is going unnoticed, but they'll realize that all these matches where he's contributed were crucial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think lots to look forward to.
Hmm.
IPL 2024 playoffs are
Hmm.
here. KKR versus SRH and RCB versus RR. I think the competition has been incredible. The number of I think we've had the most number of sixes in the
Yes.
competition. Had the most number of runs scored. I think we've broken all records.
Highest
Batting.
number of sixes by an Indian batsman, Abhishek Sharma, 41 sixes.
Yeah, I think this competition has been batting versus batting. The bowlers have been largely irrelevant. Um,
Irrelevant.
but what an IPL we've had, I think, and what an incredible playoffs we have upon us.
Mhm.
Fitting four, I would say. Definitely fitting four. They've played the best cricket throughout the competition.
Yep.
Even though they've been up and down, I think
Mhm.
probably this is probably the closest, maybe the closest
Yes.
ever. 14 points the first time in a 10-team
Correct.
tournament. 14 points.
And
Squad.
the playoffs were not. I mean, nobody was able to judge who's going to make it until the last match,
Yeah.
until yesterday's match. So very close.
Yeah, so I think exciting times ahead. KKR SRH tomorrow, RCB Rajasthan in the eliminator.
Hmm.
Whoever came to the stream, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for Anurag for staying up so late and being with us on the stream. Thank you so much to Shay, Uneven Bounce. Go check him out. Anurag, where can we find you on socials?
So I'm on Twitter, guys, and my handle is the obvious Mad Lad.
Yeah.
You can hit me up on Twitter.
Obvious Mad Lad, guys, go check him out on Twitter. Uneven.bounce on Instagram, Shay Naidoo, and I am Cricket Krishna, the host of this beautiful stream. So thank you so much to everybody who joined. Thank you, Anurag. Thank you, Shay.
Thanks,
And
Chris.
let's hope for the best team to win the IPL and yeah, take the glory. Take care, Anurag. See you. And see
Cheers.
you, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.